For those of you who are standing, stay up. Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag,
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
You have good knuckles, John. Still got good knuckles.
I.
That was like
That was.
right in the hospital.
I'll get a bed near you.
I'm already on my way. All right, everybody. So it's the second budget meeting. Anthony will be joining us. Just so you know,
Downstairs, I left that.
John's gonna run downstairs. Just so you know, I think I told Lewis, I don't know who I told. I'm gonna tell everybody right now. The capital budget process that we went through cannot be followed. You can create a capital plan. In that capital plan, we can buy a battleship because it's a plan. In our budget, we can only allocate funds that we plan on spending. As of now, we are going to do, haven't voted on it yet, but I'm just going to be the council president here and say we're buying bulletproof vests and we're capping the landfill. After the entire budget is created, we will look and see if there's any additional funds for capital expenses. Mr. DeSisto, you have the short seat tonight, so if you. Sorry. We finally got that one out of here into circulation and put it over there. You can stand up and pull that lever and it'll, yeah. So I just told everybody, Anthony, about, to bring you up to speed, Mr. DeSisto, about the capital budget format and that only items that we plan on spending money on can be put in a budget form.
That's correct.
We can create a capital plan.
Yeah.
And a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
We can put costs associated with those projects, but those are different than a capital budget in the budget that says we're allocating those funds for those projects.
Your budget for fiscal year 26-27 is for expenditures, appropriations in 26-27.
Correct. Not wishes and things where if we have the money, when the time comes, we'll spend it.
You have it happen.
Well, we're gonna create one. Fortunately, our planner is sick this evening, but yes, the capital plan is gonna be separate than our budgeted items. And with that, I'll let Mr. Rago take over because he really wants to prove himself.
Yeah. So the first thing is, Tony, I want to go back to what you two just discussed, because I don't want no
Can't
confusion.
even play them.
So in past years, when you had something in capital and you didn't spend the money in that given year, you'd roll it over to the next year, right?
That's correct.
Correct.
And at a certain point, it would drop off.
No,
If you didn't roll it over.
it would roll over automatically.
So to say that if you put it in there, you have to spend it, that's not exactly correct, right?
Correct. That's a
Okay.
correct statement.
Now, our intention is that we want to try to get as much grant money as possible. And our planner said that if you have it in your capital plan, that makes it much easier. So having it in the 5-year capital plan is,
Two separate things.
It's different than a budget.
She said have it in your 5-year capital plan, but because we didn't have one, we were putting it in this year's capital budget.
but the fact that we have a 5-year plan, that makes it that much more easier for her to go chasing. So that's exactly what
Correct.
we want. Okay,
Correct.
now, there is, you mentioned 2 areas that we will have any capital, and I think there's 3, and the third one would be the sewer, wastewater management.
Correct.
And it's outside.
Now, let me interject because we brought this up also. If one of our line items is matching funds and dependent on if we got the grant, you can do that. I think the one thing that confused us last week is the difference between money not spent we have a zeroed out budget at the end of the year. It goes back into the general fund. So we could allocate different line items for different grant contributions if we were successful. But we're tying up that cash, if we have it, for those projects.
May I interject?
Yes.
I want to be sure that I understand what we're talking about. If you have capital items in your budget, they have to be funds, so there has to be appropriations to that. You don't have to spend those appropriations in that fiscal year, but there has to be appropriations.
Okay.
So in other words, if you're gonna put in capital items that you don't intend to fund for that year, what you're doing is that you're essentially telling your taxpayers, we're gonna take your money now, might use it later, but you're asking them to prepay for things ahead of time. I think that's my concern with this.
Mhm.
You don't have to spend it, but you have to collect it.
But you also have to have it in your balance.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the biggest part. We, good.
It has to be a source of funds, for what you have.
Right, we can't put $3 million in the capital fund if we don't have it.
And my question on to the process we did last week was, say we put, let's pick a round number, we put $1 million worth of things into the capital budget. If we go to bond, that's gonna show up on our balance sheet as money spent. In other words, this town
Or
is
to
spending
be
money
spent.
like a drunken sailor. We're not gonna give them a great bond rating because they're spending all, even though we say we don't have the intent of spending it. When they look at our balance sheet, they're gonna say they put this money out to be spent.
That's correct. Yeah.
So we're gonna use that as coming up with their bond number or their rating number. So it's not gonna.
It's
if
gonna have
there, it's not
parentheses. It's
not
gonna have
gonna-
parentheses
It's not
around
gonna
it.
look good.
So John, to clarify, it's not gonna show debt, it's gonna show less fund balance.
Correct,
Because
which
you
which
committed
will
to it,
affect
yeah.
which will affect our bond rating.
I think we're all on the same train and on the same track. I think
Yeah, we're
that
just
we
gonna-
we wanna make sure that we preserve the ability to go after funds. And if we have them in a five-year plan, it's something that our planner can go after.
But we're revisiting the capital budget that we did last week.
Sure. So a couple of things. So tonight, fees and fines, I would like to send that to the budget committee because I don't think that would change anything. And for them to look over and then put it on the agenda for next month, if that's okay with the council.
I'll make a motion to do that.
Oh, for next
The regular.
month or oh yeah, that's when we look at that's our last look at the budget, right?
Well, no, it would be for the regular meeting. Again.
Right, but that's when we look, isn't that when we,
You're gonna have, you're gonna account for what the collected fees and fines, but you need to change your ordinance to that. I do think it's appropriate to have the finance, the budget committee take a look
Right.
at that. But that would be so that your ordinance change.
my question was the timing calendar is, our next budget process is the next meeting, correct?
No, I got the sheet here, Joe, and it looks like
Or do we have?
these are
one
if
last-
needed. We've got a couple if needed ones coming up. Today is this, for the preliminary budget, we're supposed to approve today.
Right,
But then we've got the petitions for buffer referendum. The final budget is May 12th.
so it's not next month.
It's not next month, but I'm sure one of these, if needed.
And again, these fees
we
and
could have
fines
ne-
is not,
Next month.
it's not gonna affect this budget, so.
Bless you.
I
Oh,
just
all
want to
right.
do it right, so.
That's the case, fine.
So you got a motion?
second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
The other thing is, that I'd like to, send the special revenue funds to the budget committee to review. Again, that doesn't change anything in this budget. That's okay, and then come back with some sort of plan for us.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Tonight, if we could start off, we still have to finish the operation, but I think it would be good that if we started with revenues and then we went to operations, operating budget, and then talk about capital budget and then wastewater management four,
Sure.
okay?
What page are revenues on?
We would start.
Okay. And then one last thing, Gary and Brian and I have been talking to different people, and I'm gonna let Brian talk tell you who we've been talking to. We're gonna be setting up meetings because we're looking under every rock for every penny, so.
Thanks, Mr. Rego. Mr. President and members of the council, last week at the League of Cities and Towns, we were fortunate to meet with several different people to set up, we don't have date certains yet, but set up meetings with the Rhode Island Interlocal Trust, Commerce, Rhode Island Commerce. We reached out to Hilltop Securities, who are, they help us with our investments and bonds. And they're gonna help us look at our debt service. And the last one is the
I always forget to.
Commerce.
Right.
Reaching out, we met with a gentleman from Ride, and we're going to try to set up a meeting so that we understand the formula better and how the, and actually I reached out to Mr. Abruzzi today, get the exact language that we need to ask the questions to Ride to figure out what that, how that ratable rate impacted Warren and why it impacted.
And
So-
again, you know, mistakes could be made and, you know, if they shortchanged us, we just want to confirm that they didn't. As far as the, Commerce, we're looking to see if there's any other grants available or if they owe us any money. The third one was
Trust,
the trust,
local
where,
trust?
again, we're looking to see if there's any we okay? We're looking to see if there's any savings, in insurance, and who knows, we may be underinsured. So, you know, sometimes when you look at insurance, you learn a lot. And the last one was the debt service, our finance. Debt service is very important, especially as we're looking into the future, because that may be an area we may be able to modify or do something. I'm just looking at this point for options, what we can do in the future. So these are all areas that will help us maybe today or in the future.
1 minute before you begin.
Go ahead.
Mr. Cabral, do you know where the switch is for this machine above us? Can you shut this thing off? We have the window open. It's nice in here. When that shuts off, it's unbelievably quiet. It's amazing how loud it is. Thank you. Go ahead.
I don't have to start over, do I?
Yeah.
No. All right, so I think we're good. I think we want to go to revenue at this point.
Something's still running, but it's a little
It may
quiet.
take a minute if it's the air handler.
I like it during a council meeting. It shuts off and it's like, what just happened? You don't realize how loud it is right above us. Good. You don't have to wait. It'll happen. Louis?
All right, so I guess the first page, and I'm gonna go over the things I highlighted. They may not be important, but we need a little bit of explanation on these things as we go. The first one is miscellaneous revenue. Gary,
Are we on page 4?
we are on page 4, yes. The top of page 4 is where the revenue is. Gary, we went from last year $300 and we went up to $1,800. What caused that increase?
That's the other miscellaneous receipts.
Yeah. If you don't have something,
miscellaneous receipts.
yeah. If you don't have an answer now, just plug it in afterwards. I don't think this is
Yeah.
gonna change anything.
The only regular item that goes in there is charging. Charge point, at the beach, we would charge your electric cars, they give us a
Oh, okay.
revenue. I think that's the only regular thing that goes in there. And it's about $150 a month, so.
Yeah.
But what's the 12,000? Goes up to 30,000 across the board, those budget years.
Yeah, I don't.
We probably put something else in there at one time.
43,000 back in 24, then it was actual of 24,000 in 25. then 12,000, and that year we budgeted 30,000.
Where are you seeing these 24, 25? I don't see it either.
Previous line.
Oh.
I don't see the 24, I see the 16.
Yes.
It was an actual.
In 2025, it says 24,000. If you go across that to the right, on the bottom. it's
All right,
only-
so let me just pull this, full
Sorry, just for
disclosure.
clarification, are we
We're
talking about,
we're in a different row.
Oh, all right, where are
Yeah.
we?
we're talking about other miscellaneous receipts?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
one,
other,
one.
I'm sorry, I was one
Okay.
below, thank
Okay.
you.
So again,
I didn't even look at that line, it's the title.
you know, I'm just trying to follow the ordinance, anything that's over 4% that we want to just plug in, an explanation. So I'm good with that page. We could go to page 6.
I know, but what's the explanation though? In 25, we had $200 there and we brought in 16,000. Or spent 16,000. Then in 26, we budgeted 300. And we actual of 1483. I mean, what is this line item?
So let me just say this out of fairness to Gary,
Yeah,
and your honeymoon's almost over, Gary. These are things that he inherited from the other guys, so.
Yeah. That's kind of a joke about David on this, so I'm sure. You didn't know where to put something, that's great.
Right.
great.
So once you figure it out, if you could just plug it in, Gary, we're not gonna hold you to that.
So we're, keeping the funds, the budget as the manager suggested.
Yes,
I'll make a motion, we keep the revenue at, where's the total here?
20,000.
No,
or 18,000.
408,230, is that the number I'm looking to approve?
Yeah, the
I
bottom.
just have a quick question.
Yeah.
In 26, the budget was 403, but we only brought in about half of what we expected. Sorry, I'm back on page 4. Gary.
20,
No, I'm back on page 4
oh,
on the finance and assessor.
yeah, that's where.
No, it doesn't look like.
what number you on?
I'm on
Yeah,
page 4.
that's page 4.
In my budget, it says FY 26 budget 403,200 and then actual 202,276. Is that what? other-
Yeah, that's what we're
These are
looking,
the
that's
one
the,
that
that's the bottom line for total
The
revenue.
one that was in front of us today?
Yeah,
Right, but it doesn't look like that matches there.
because we're not through the fiscal year yet.
Yeah, so if you look to the side, Derek, you'll see that we're 50%, which would be half of the 403 that we.
Ah, I see. That was my error. Thank you so much. I apologize.
Thinking we had revenue half as much as we expected.
Right, it's half.
So we
Half
made a
it,
motion and a
50.
second to approve that one?
Yep, now while we're on this page, do we want to do the expenses?
So that's the
Clear the page out?
No, let's go back to expenses.
408,230, correct, John?
Yes, 408,230.
There's a,
I'll second.
yeah. And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
So on page 6, on the revenue town clerk, under business registrations, I see that for the notes, we're actually down 6%, but yet we're at 83% what we budgeted last year. It does say include tattoos and PL license. I just don't know why that number would have went down.
Question.
God bless you.
Oh, sorry.
We haven't got, it hasn't been the end of the year yet. Those come in, sometimes the deadlines are, yeah. Not
Well-
until April or May, it's a lot of them.
Right, so that's my reason. So instead of going down 6%, we probably should have gone up 6%, no? For revenue? Yeah, so do you expect more stuff to come in April, May?
Yeah, like we're starting to get them now. Have you noticed a lot of renewals are coming through?
Right. So
Or
Gary,
even new ones.
do you think that number should be higher? If we're at 83% year to date, we budgeted 12,000, we're almost at 10 right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking, should be higher.
13,000 maybe?
Which one, Louis?
So if you go to licensed business registration,
Yep,
if you go across 24, we budgeted 10,000, we actually got 11,700. 25, we budgeted 10,000, we got 10,300. Last year, we budgeted 12, and we're at 83%. But yet, we,
2025, we only took in 10, so it
Right.
it actually could go down
you
next
foresee
year.
it to go down? All right.
Right.
If you're good with that number, I'm good with that number. Okay,
Because there are still businesses that haven't renewed
Right.
and that we're waiting for.
so I think we should change it back to 12, Gary.
All right, so that's a
Gary,
motion.
12?
What's that 12 on my sheet?
Yeah,
No,
That's what it
12's
says on
on,
my sheet.
12's on the left. If you look at the right,
Mhm.
the right, it's
Oh,
11,255.
I make a motion to change that revenue to 12,000.
John, you second it?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Okay,
Go
hold on a
ahead,
second,
Louis.
mortgage deeds, Sandy, we brought that to $100,000. You comfortable with that? That's a 40% increase. We're at 57%. We budgeted last year 51.5. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna,
You see a lot more house sales in the next coming
I don't-
fiscal year?
I don't, but
We could get more and then we.
You-
It depends.
so,
But that's just like my birth certificates, death certificates, we don't never know how many we're gonna get.
so should it be adjusted lower?
I think it should be
Lower.
adjusted lower.
Lower would be more
I come
accurate.
up with 62,000. If we average out year to date, is that too low, or do you want to just stick to the 71.5 like we did last year?
The 71.5, I'm looking, looking at the two previous fiscal years and the 71.5 is closer than the 62.
So let's just change that number to an even number of $70,000.
Make a motion to change the, recording deed mortgage totals to, what was it? Oh,
70,000.
70,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And now what about the realty transfer fees?
Yeah, so,
That's 50 higher than, I mean, they wanted 200,000 and we're already,
so
But
that we're
35.
in line, Gary, there's, that one's in line.
okay.
I don't know what you want to put for an explanation there, Gary, if any. Probate court fees. That's down 29%. Are you good with that $15,000, Sandy?
Yes.
Okay. I guess that's it. So we gotta figure out what the new number is.
Is that there?
585 minus 82,000. I mean, 558. 595 minus 82.
No, where do you come up with 82? We dropped 100, we dropped 100 to 70, so that's $30,000 there,
I
right?
added the two together, my error.
That's okay. And
I
then
added the
we went,
70 and the
so
12.
so Gary, can you do the numbers? I think it's 70,700 and
I'm not an
something.
accountant.
Yeah, but it's the total number we gotta approve.
Yeah.
Louis. Let's see how good my eyes are. That's a 523.40?
29.
529. I'll make a motion, we approve revenue for the licenses and fees at $529,340.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All right, next page, page 7, third-party billing. I think this one went a little bit overboard. And I know that sometimes we receive the money late and it skews it, but I think that we're going from 700 to 775 and we're only at 63%. Chief?
Yes.
Again, this isn't a perfect science, but we want to
Right,
get as
no,
close as possible.
I've spoken to Brian and Gary on this. I think you're a little high at the 775. I think it'd be more comfortable bringing it down to the 750, and that would be up from 700 in the previous year. The reason being to leave, we're on track to bring in 800,000 this year from that account, and the cost is 48,000. It's 6% of the 800 to pay Coronis. So I think at 775, you'd be looking at needing to make close to 850, and I don't know if we'd be able to do that.
So you're good with 750?
750.
I mean,
That's still the same with Brian and Gary.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to change it to 750.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Sorry. Getting the report on the bond.
So now the total on this is gonna be, that's
750.
it, it's just that one line item in there.
I'll make a
Make-
motion to approve Fire department revenues in the amount of 750,000.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we got the police department here, chief. So we budgeted last year $90,000. We're at 128,000. And 128.5, and we budgeted 120, and I know there's gonna be a lot of road detail. I figured we should be at right 192,748. Is there a reason why we only at 120?
Which, are you on the entire line item? Where you at?
So I'm under, page 8, under
Road-
road duty cruiser
Okay.
revenue.
I think the concern is that that includes how many vehicles that we're able to get out there.
Hmm.
And we don't have a limited amount of vehicles to be able to put out onto the details, so. Concerned if we put more money in there, then we're able to get vehicles out there to collect that money. 'Cause I believe that's where most of that money comes from.
But again, we've already did,
That's just the cruise detail fee.
could we bring that up to like 140? If we've already gotten 143% of what we did last year. I'm coming out averaging 192 if we did the same thing we've done so far this year. So is 140 unreasonable, an extra $20,000 there?
Well, I'm going back to the two other previous fiscal years, Louis, and we're not even close to 140. We're barely, and back in 2024, we're barely half of 140.
Sure, I think what I'm looking at what we've done this year. We've already done 100, almost 129,000. We're only 8 months into it, and we know that next year we're gonna be doing a lot of road details, especially on Main Street, you know? So-
Correct, we are. But again, it's just the amount of cruises I can put out there. And like I told you before, I have no plan to put in a frontline car on a detail.
Mhm.
So if they call for 5, they're only gonna get 3 or 4.
Okay, again, I'm giving you an argument. What's your thoughts? Is 140 too much? Based on we've already did 129 this year?
I mean, we've had constructions in the past and, back when we did Water Street, right? That was all summer long.
Yep.
So
That was before 24 though, wasn't it?
I believe so.
And you didn't force cars. I mean, people weren't using cars as much as they do today, right?
Correct. Yeah, now everybody every detail wants a cruiser out there with an officer, so.
So
It's
How about
it's-
130?
It's not unrealistic, but
140 is not unrealistic.
I mean, I do agree, we do have a lot of details.
130.
Main Street, we're gonna have,
Again, it's not a
Three or
perfect
four.
science, but again, I. No, we haven't talked about that yet.
yes.
Is that why there was a Bristol?
When we
Cruiser
can't fill
in
the
town?
details, Bristol, we asked them, Bristol and Barrington, we have an MOU.
I've
with them.
noticed.
All right, so I'll make a motion for 130.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
All right.
So that's from 120 to 130.
All right, and then the road duty administration revenue, again, we're 114,000. We plugged in 30,000 last year. We kept it at 30. I'm thinking, again, there's gonna be more road duty. I would just say to raise it to, is 40,000 unreasonable?
No, I think it's a good
I'll
number.
make a motion to raise it to $40,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think I got the new number here. I'll make a motion, we approve $176,780 for total revenue for the police.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
So, page 9.
thank you. Gentlemen. Hi.
Page 9.
We just go back to that one. I'm sure what was the,
176 is what I came up with,
780.
176, 780.
Well, wait,
611.
do the math
We
separately,
don't take
so we
any-
make sure
Yeah,
that,
can't be that.
We only took whole numbers off. How'd that number, we
Yeah.
only took 10, we took 20,000. We added 20,000.
176, 780.
Okay.
all right, so, yeah, always do the math
It doesn't say Texas
separately,
Instruments
Gary.
on the back of my head for no reason.
So we
Okay.
make sure that we get it right.
The next page, meal taxes. Well, We're up 9%. Again, if we do year to date, I think it would be another 40,000, but I'm okay with that number that you have there.
Sorry,
Those, just to check, those numbers, the state sent us those projections.
sorry, just to go back a second, which line are we looking at?
So under the shared services,
Yep.
page 9,
Yep,
the third line down, fourth line down, meals taxes.
meals tax, okay, thank you.
So, okay, so you say the state sends us these numbers, but we have actuals here, and so far this year, we've already received 454,941. We're at 78%. I don't foresee people eating out less. I foresee it more. So the 638 is not unreasonable. I come up with 682, but I'm okay with the 638.
I think the 68 is more reasonable, again, judging by the past two fiscal years we completed.
Which one, how much do you think is a reasonable?
We got the 638, yeah.
Okay. Telephones,
I would
tax.
just, oh, sorry.
So
I
we'll
would
just
just add
leave
on
it-
that line item that next year we are gonna have the World Cup, and that does bring in a lot of additional folks out to restaurants and such, so that might be, I think it is a conservative estimate, but I'm happy to leave it as is.
Okay, so telephone tax transfer. Every year I ask the same question. What is this?
What's the bill on your cell phone?
Is that what it is?
It's one of the
Ryan?
added things to it, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not.
Comes from the state.
That is another
State.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one that the state gave us their projection.
So again, tell me, so, okay, that's your reasoning for put it on here, but if we budgeted 150 last year, we're already at 159, which is 106%. Why the state would come in at less? I'm averaging it out. It should be around $239,000. So I think that number's way under. So I would push to bring that up to at least 160.
160.
So, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
From 134 to 160?
So the telephone tax comes in, that's fully collected, I assume. Yeah. So we've already collected 159, we're not gonna be getting it at all.
All right, so if we're at 160, that's not unreasonable.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. We're at 159.
So I'll make a motion to change that number to 160.
Yeah, I'll second that. It looks like the past couple of fiscal budgets, it went up about $10,000 per year, so to go from 150 to 160 is not unreasonable.
Yeah.
So John seconds, all in favor?
All right. I guess I have the hotel tax. What is that? Is that for Airbnbs?
Bed tax.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's hotel, there is also Airbnbs.
Yeah.
we don't have any hotels.
Well, we do get hotel tax.
It's the bed tax that comes from the Airbnbs. So we get the least in the region, because we don't.
Gary, Gary, can you just come up with a new bottom line so we can make a motion on that?
So Head Start only pays us $24,000.
I think we have we're in the middle of a contract with them. I think we had a three-year lease with them. Did we have a lease with them?
I'm sorry, Mr.
With Head Start, we have a lease with them, so that number is fixed for the next couple of years. The Head Start lease.
Yes, Head Start, yeah.
Yeah, we have a lease.
Okay.
Gary, you get a new number?
And we cover all the utilities there, correct?
Yes. And all the repairs. Unless they
Well, no,
get grants.
They help,
Yeah.
yeah, I think they did a
Yeah.
roof and something when they came in.
I'll make a motion for shared services in the amount of $3,964,760.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving along, page 10. We have no revenue there. Arbitration, we're good there.
Wait a minute, what'd you
You
say?
skipped over page 11 has revenue.
Page 11.
Yeah, but there was no changes as
Yeah.
far as,
Well, we gotta I'll make a
We're making
motion.
Changes.
I'm
We
sorry.
approve $128,000 under revenue for the, I guess that would be the
Harbor Master.
Harbor Master, Harbor Commission.
This takes into account Mr. Silva's increases?
No, again, this is,
So I think
we're not, we're not taking that into consideration at this point because we're gonna look at it and then we'll come back to the council on that.
I'll second the motion in favor of 128,000.
Yeah, but he has a page right here.
Yeah, but once, we'll look at all the fees and fines at the same time and then we'll come back. to
Well, then we gotta come back and change
Yeah, but
this.
it's right here, Louis.
Right, the numbers are not gonna be significant that much where it's gonna change the budget, and that's why I'm saying that we don't need to change it.
Do we gonna need to come back and change it later?
No,
Okay, so we won't have to come back and change this per
But
company.
you are aware of,
I am aware of it. Yeah,
Okay.
but we got all the fees and fines.
President, this,
now,
Can you turn it on?
There you go.
Mr. President, if you recall, those changes were put into place after we had already sent out this year's fees so those, we won't be able to put those fees in place until next year.
So those fees are.
Because those fees those letters have to go out in January.
And also,
So-
I think, Tony, you said we have to do it by ordinance, right? Any fees and fines?
Correct.
Okay, so,
Well, we already passed the ordinance.
yeah, we already passed it
It's not gonna, it won't be reflected till next year's fiscal budget, the increases.
because of all the.
I'm a little confused now. If we have.
All the
these-
applications for this
We
year.
did- we had a whole-
One out.
We already passed the ordinance to raise the dock fees. We had 2 readings for it.
Oh, yes, just that doc fees.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
But everything else, the applications have already gone out, so they
Right.
can't be done
Okay,
in live time.
okay, we all set with
They
that
can be done
page?
For the future,
So
No, we
we'll-
still have to vote, I believe.
on this page,
I
For
think
the
so, don't we?
128.
but we didn't make a change.
Well, we still gotta,
Yeah,
We didn't make a change, we don't have to vote on it. It's gonna be at the end.
Well, I defer to you, Judge.
I don't know, you tell me.
huh?
we still have to vote on it?
Yeah, we have a motion in a second. Let's just vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
I thought we only had to make the changes and at the end,
I don't see any
approve
changes.
the finished number.
I
Go ahead.
don't see any changes for recreation department,
Make a
so,
motion, we approve Recreation Department revenue at $146,000.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
So what do we do about the pages that we didn't do anything to and didn't take a vote on?
Well, that's expenses. He wants to go back. We're gonna go back.
All right,
to
we're
every
going
page
back.
and go to.
Okay,
expenses.
okay, I get
It
it.
won't take long. Okay, so
I let you do it, go ahead.
Public Works, page 13, the transfer station, commercial fee revenue, we're at 75. We budgeted 116,500. We're at 75% at 87,490. I think that number should be 150 unless somebody's, Mary, are you okay with that, or would there be a reason not to? All right, so I'm gonna make a motion to increase that from 125 to 150.
Again, Louis, I'm gonna go back to the previous 2 completed fiscal years. We didn't get close to 150. We got
Yeah,
119 and we got a 124.
yeah, so what I'm looking at is what we've done year to date, so this could be reflective of increases in fees and stuff like that, so that's where I'm coming up with those figures. I understand what you're saying, that the prior years was 119, 124, but we've already used it, 87,490 we've gotten in revenue, that's 75%, we still got 4 months to go, that's my argument. Again, this is not a perfect science. It's just-
May I ask Mary, is it typical that in the springtime when people are doing sort of their lawn site type situations that we see more revenue come in during this time of the year than essentially does it spike? Is what I'm
Sure,
asking.
yeah, there'll be a little bit of an uptick. People are cleaning out their garages, they're cleaning out their gardens. There's gonna be a little bit more in the spring. We've seen it already in the last couple weeks. We've also seen an uptick in bulk pickup items. We have a small amount of revenue from that, about $4,000 so far this year. So we'll
Usually
see more
leading
of
up to
those.
4th of July.
Yeah.
And then you see it flatten slightly.
So one of the things with this revenue, we're thinking it's just for the trash, but you have other revenue that
Certainly,
that's
yeah.
reflected up in here that's not broken down. So this is the total revenue provided with
The
it.
only thing I'm
Right.
concerned about is if we budget more in revenue than we actually get, we have to make that up, right?
Correct.
So I feel like we should be a little bit more conservative and go with what has been the norm over the last few years. And if it turns out that this year, when it all is said and done in fiscal 26 actual was actually closer to 150, then I would feel comfortable moving it. But since it's not been that case that we've gotten that high before. I'd rather keep it at 125 if that's all right.
Well, I guess the pushback to your argument is, that, you know, we're at 75% of what was budgeted last year, and that's where I'm making my argument. But if you want to keep it at the 125, I'm okay with that. I just think it's 150.
I'll make a motion then in the amount of, for the public works in the amount of 125,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Oh. Building inspector. Yeah, you know, I did have a question on one, but Matt explained it, so I'm good with his. So I make a motion to approve $274,500.
Second.
Unless you wanted to change something, Matt.
Yeah, I think that number's high.
Even at 274?
Yes.
Which
So-
line item do you think is the one that's way out of whack, Matt? The permit fees?
So the permit fees, so this year's permit fees, we're on track right now for over the past 3-year actuals for permits. I will say 24, so we're at 50 permits issued right now. In 24, we were issuing 50 in February, so we were ahead of what we are at now, but in 23 and 25, 50 was in the middle of March, actually, same week of March. The number that's presented now in the actual of 235 is, we had Penny Lane this year, which was a $4.9 million project. That was a $54,000 permit. I don't see next year a project of that magnitude in town.
Matt, we had a big project in 24 too. I think that's what put that number up to the 277 of the actual.
So I can't remember which one of the years, it might have been 24. We had the permitting for the solar farm,
That might
Oh, yeah.
which that was another big. We do have there is a project that potentially might be coming down. That would be a pretty decent sized project, but that's not anywhere near. That's still in the planning stages right now, and it's not Settlers Green. It's a something else that might come down.
So the 250 is a number you would want to keep at?
I would say actually we probably should lower that because I don't think we're going to hit. If you were to take, so right now the actual of this year fiscal year is 235. If you were to remove Penny Lane from that, we're at 181. So I don't want to go too high, and like what Councilman Trombley said, you know, then we have to try to find that money. Because I don't see, I mean, it would be great if we can have a boom, but even in Bristol, the numbers are down and their projections for permits are down. I think, you know, we have stuff going on in the world right now that construction isn't really, everybody's a little bit nervous about doing construction, so.
Well, we don't have to, I mean, we're not.
We did
not a
try
perfect find
We did
money. It's
250
just the-
last,
that amount
we
of
did
money's not gonna
250
come
last
in.
year.
Well, exactly, but I'd want to say 250 and then we
Our
don't.
tax rate would be improperly posted.
Yeah.
Not 270.
I'm good at keeping it 250 also.
I'll make a motion, we change that line item for permit revenue from 270 to 250. And is that the only item on this line you wanted to talk about?
Yeah.
And I'll make a motion that we approve total revenue from the
No, do
building.
it separate.
All right, yeah, sorry, we didn't go to.
Go ahead.
Motion to reduce line item from 270 to 250 for permits for building permits, plumbing. permits.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now.
I'll make a motion, we reduce the total revenue for the building department to $254,500.
Second.
All
So
in
I
favor?
just had a
Aye.
question.
Well, discussion.
So just to enlighten me, if the projection is, we're projecting 250.
Yeah.
If it comes in at 200, then we're short 50.
Technically, in that situation, we have to pull it from other line items in the budget to make up,
Right, okay.
Well,
or the capital fund.
it really impacts your tax rate as well.
Correct.
So you're not pulling in any money out of the general fund if we don't spend it. What it's saying is that we're not putting as much
Correct.
into the general fund
Yeah.
as we
As we-
wish.
Correct, but the
Yeah,
whole
okay.
budget is based on what we're gonna take in.
Correct, but I mean, I just
We
don't
don't
want
take in
Mr.
as much as we
Yeah,
thought.
But I don't want Mr. Trombley to think that
Yeah.
if we
So-
say we're making 174,000, we only bring 160, we
Right.
have to find 14 somewhere.
Right.
That's not really how it
So
works.
Derek, I
Thank
understand
you.
your concern, but a lot of these things will wash out. So
Yeah.
it's, again, it's not perfect. I just like to have a reasoning why we're coming up with these numbers.
No,
Having it as close as possible
Yeah.
is the most accurate way of representing our
I-
intentions to the
Thank you, Mr.
public.
President. I understand now. I do think I agree with Mr. Cabral that maybe that number's a little bit too optimistic, but I defer to the will of the council, so.
Well, it's already done. All in favor?
All right.
No,
Okay.
All right, so, for senior center 17, page 17, other
We
sources.
skipped over boards, planning and zoning boards.
I think we've skipped over others as well as what I was
I
pointing
don't know.
out.
I was
Hey,
going
did I
through them
miss
time.
15, I think.
All right.
I was going over them a page at a time, and
Pages
all the ones that had revenue.
You know,
That's
the
true.
problem is, I don't have a page 15.
You're
It
not playing-
happens, it's not the end of the
You're
world.
not playing with a full deck.
No. Jim, you didn't have to laugh at that.
I mean, you're actually his buddy.
That's why he's laughing so hard.
Jesus. Threw him right under the-
He's the one that took page 15 out of his
yeah,
packet
yeah.
just to get,
So-
just to get him.
Mr. President, I have a question. I don't know
Go
if
right
this would be
ahead.
appropriate for Matt or not, but so in this, basically, planning board fees are flat from the previous year, and then zoning board fees increases significantly. I presume that's due to the Penny Lane development? Is that, would that be an accurate summation?
No.
No.
The fees, I mean, if you go over the 3-year projection, actual, excuse me.
Yeah.
It goes from 11,000 down to 4,000, down to 3,000.
Right.
So it's actually dropping off.
So why are we at 5,000 then?
I can help explain a little bit of that, I believe.
Well, before you, if you don't mind, sorry. Unified Development Review
Okay.
Exactly where I was going.
is going to change
Ah,
the zoning, because then it's not gonna be coming into zoning, it's gonna be coming into planning.
okay, thank you.
It's exactly where I was going, Matt.
So you're good with the
job.
5,000?
Thank you. It's kind of a balancing act, because if you look, you're looking at 7,000 for the planning, where this year we're at 4,000. So I think we're not seeing as many zoning cases as we have in the past because of Unified Development Review. And also we're projecting lower on building. And there's also laws that have been changed that doesn't, there's not a need to go to zoning. So, I mean, 5,000, I would say to be safe, that's okay, but it's too new for us to give a projection as to where we're gonna actually be at with zoning. But I don't see us increasing in zoning drastically.
Okay, so,
If that's the case, I would feel comfortable dropping this based on, I know that the numbers are it's more promising in FY 26 to date to the end of February, but I would feel comfortable dropping that to 4 from 5,000 to 4,000 if my fellow councilman and council.
I'm gonna second that motion, just to make you feel good. It's not gonna make a big difference, but
Is there a second?
Lewis seconded it. Derek made it.
All in
Lewis seconded
favor?
it.
Aye. What about on the
You're good.
planning
You're
board
good.
fees? Are you good with that, Derek?
I think so.
Yeah, because we're at 51%. Matt, you're good with that?
Yes.
Okay.
In the
I'll make
last
a
2
motion.
years, we're about 7,000, so 8,000 makes sense to me.
I will make a motion for the total planning and zoning board fees in the amount of $11,500.
No, it
So,
should be
how would we do that? We
Oh,
want
excuse me,
12,000.
12,000. I was reading the previous number the
So
department.
we went from
requested.
13,000 to
That we took
12,000.
1,000 off, so it's $12,000 even, correct?
second it.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Okay. Okay. So I guess the sewer use fees is the last one, right? And I don't have any problems with the sewer
That's
use
senior
fees.
Do you have page 16?
Or 17?
Oh, wait a minute.
16?
16.
16 is gonna be
social
just the total of all of the revenue that we approved. I believe that's the only revenue on page 16.
16, yeah, what, and some social services revenue has no line.
Okay.
I don't have any revenue on page.
It's just the very, very top, there's one line, but there's no entries in it.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that's the final page of the total revenue together, am I correct? No?
No, they just don't have any.
Okay.
And then 17
okay.
is
Senior center.
senior center.
Okay.
That's at 35,000.
Yeah, so we're keeping that the same, and this money is coming from the trust. But can I ask you something? Is that the Joseph Martin Trust or is that a different trust?
Yes,
I thought it was a different trust.
no,
No?
How much do we have left in there? Because I know we only had 2 or 3 years left drawing it.
we had 186,000, I think, or
It's less than that.
86,000, 86,000?
I think it's,
But we drew on it for a couple of years.
Well, he's gonna, I'm sure Mr. Sullivan must have it.
I think we're good for another 2 years at 35,000, but I could be wrong.
I believe right now it's 100.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we got at least 2 more years.
Mm.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve $35,000.
Second?
122, 106 is. the,
Okay. We got
All
maybe
in favor?
3 years out of it.
we haven't
Aye.
finished it. We have not taken. but there's-
So that'll be down to the 86, I thought.
Yeah.
It's close.
Yeah, correct.
All right. The sewer department. Yeah, one question I had, as we've tried to readjust our thinking on the sewer usage fee. I'm sure the number would be too high, but Anthony. Could we hypothetically look at the cost of the bond that we're spending over there and do a formula on the sewer usage fee? And we had
Yeah.
$18 million
The
left.
problem with that, Joe.
Yeah,
is
that's-
The bond is being paid by the entire town, even the people without sewer.
Right.
The people without sewer
Oh, so only the
aren't
people
paying
with
sewer
sewer.
use fees, so they.
It would be a smaller divisible.
Right, and not only that, but that we'd be if you just brought it over to the sewer use fees, you would be relieving the other people of the obligation.
That's
to
what I
the
mean,
bond.
in a smaller pool. All
Right.
right, well, thank you, thank you. I was trying to think why I remember that discussion, and that's back when we didn't,
Well, because the bond came in before we came up with the sewer use fees.
and it was back when we decided not to relieve anybody.
Correct.
We stuck with it as a whole town issue. All right, that's all. I just wanted to refresh it. I've been here.
And I believe those bonds have a 10-year, oh no, I'm thinking of the schools.
We have, I think,
Yeah.
15 left. Do we
Any
have a number
changes
on
there,
that?
or are you comfortable?
So,
with
Gary?
I'm comfortable with these numbers here.
those? Okay.
Just one question though.
13? All right, so we have 13 years left. I think we're paying off about $1 million a year, aren't we?
Yeah.
So it's been 7 years since we did the.
$1.3 million, that's just for one bond. There's another bond too. It's tied to the sewer.
That's the 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the $20 million.
All right, I don't want to confuse us. Go ahead, Louis. Page,
So
18.
I'm good with the town manager recommendation of $2,457,782 for the revenue for the sewer department.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
All right, now, so that takes us to,
page 19. Is there one?
no, I think,
There you go.
so now we're gonna work on finishing the operating, so we wanna go back to page. And again, I don't know if. So we're gonna do one at a time?
Yeah, operating.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, you're doing it.
So for operation under the town managers, I would say that
First off, what page are we on?
we're going back to 3.
Page 3, everybody. Okay, go ahead.
So my goal is to make up on all our department heads. Our department heads for the past 2 years have taken a 2% raise. And this year, we have the ability, next year and the following year, we may ask people to make little sacrifices. Again, I don't know for sure, but I would like to increase it to a 4% raise for all the department heads, including the town manager. So I would ask to increase the town managers from 3% to 4%.
Very interesting.
Again, and the reason
Yeah,
I'm doing
that's-
it, if you look at what they did the prior to, Brian didn't even take a raise last year. And in the prior 2 years, most of our department heads took 2% raises. If you average it over 3 years, it's like a 2.67%. Compounding with, we don't know what's gonna happen in the future. I think we have the ability, and if we give them raises, I think the total comes up to about $10,000. I think this is the time to do it.
So the total hit to the budget would be about 10 grand,
Yes,
roughly.
they're roughly 10,000.
1% more on all. About 10.
Yeah, I'm very happy with our department heads and I'd like to keep them, so I will second your motion.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
What's the number?
So I don't know what the number is. Gary, what's the number just for the town manager if it's from 3% to 4%?
180.
180. And so what does that change the bottom line for the town manager?
210, 260.
I'll make a motion, we approve town manager expenses in the amount of $210,264.
You have to approve the first one though, is the 4%?
Yeah, well, we voted to increase the,
He said he wanted.
Yeah, we have to
you
actually.
said all the department heads, but yeah, we
Well,
probably have to do
I
it for
did
each
one at a
department
time, yeah.
now.
Yeah, do it
All
individually.
right, I'll make a motion, we increase the town manager salary to 108.80.
Second.
No,
No, that's too
No.
much.
That's.
No, let me make this motion. I make a motion to increase his salary to $100,880.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
I think you said 108.
I said 108.80,
Yeah, it's not 108.
$108,800.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
That zero is silent.
What is the number? Could you please say it?
It's $100,880.
800.
880. Okay, I didn't hear that any times.
I thought he said 108,000.
Yeah, that's what I heard, $108,000 and then $80. So
But that's not what John heard.
No, that's what I think John.
All right.
All right, so the total amount comes out to 210,264.
Correct.
Gary,
right.
is that the right number?
Yes, 210, 250.
So is there a second on that?
Second.
Is there a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Now what page?
Page 4.
Okay.
We're gonna need a new number for the,
So I'm going to also increase the finance director to 4%. Gary was doing 2 because he knew we were in financial crisis and he took it upon himself. But he has earned this raise, so I'm gonna make a motion to change it from 2% to 4%. I just need a number, Gary.
Yeah.
We're watching you on this one, Gary.
there's not gonna be any silent zeros in this one.
It'll be 106,876.
Make a motion to change the finance director's wages to 106,876.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And Gary, what is the total amount? We don't need to change anything else, right, Gary? Everything else stays the same?
What?
You
Oh, the
could do another
assessor.
department head.
Okay, I'm sorry, Maya. Assessor. Good eye.
Wait,
It's-
So I make a motion to change the, can you give me a number before?
Yeah, it is, because the manager, somebody proposed it for,
Oh, yes,
so we got it
okay.
already.
So,
76,388.
make a motion to change the assessor's salary to 76,388.
Second.
Oh, wait a minute. That one-
Come up to the podium, miss.
Everyone else has their stipend in their salary, but mine is on a separate line item.
Where is it?
It's under boards and commissions. Let me get the page.
there's no tax advantage to keeping them separate, right? They have to get totaled at the end of the year,
It could
right?
affect pension, you know,
So it's better to have,
some
it.
stipends can go towards your pension, some can't.
We've been putting them all together is what we've been
Yeah.
doing now.
For the town.
Say that again, Tony?
He doesn't, there's no negative towards the town.
What Maya's proposing.
Okay,
That's what we've been doing.
so do we have to cut it out of the other spot where?
Yeah.
I'm trying to
We
find it.
consolidated the
It's
plan.
on page 16. Right before grants, board and commission, tax board review,
How much is it?
3,000.
So Anthony, what would be that motion? We,
Now that, well,
combine,
what is, I'm not there yet.
We gotta get to that
What
line
page
anyways.
was it?
We haven't done that.
What page was it?
Page 16.
So
Oh.
the 3,000 is getting cut out of this.
Yeah,
well, it's getting taken out of there and then putting into her salary.
So the tax board of review,
yes.
I'll make a motion to eliminate the 3,000. That way we don't forget.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye. We gotta go back to that page, but I don't
Well,
want.
now we're gonna make a motion to add it to her salary, just like we did with Mr. Cabral.
Okay,
I believe if I'm not mistaken, that would be 79,388 then. Is that correct?
that's correct.
I will make a motion to that effect.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
What's the bottom line, number, Gary?
79, we-
And what was it? What was 3,000?
3,000, yeah.
Yep. Oh, no, I just gave it old, yep, here we go, just waiting.
The assistant, under the finance director, we have assistant salaries, that's where we pay our HR coordinator.
Yes.
House.
So,
What page is that?
So same page, yeah, Pauline, I forgot about
16
that.
or 4? 16.
Page 4.
4.
I'm gonna make a motion to change that to 27,581.
Which one is that under?
So that's right on the finance wages, it'd be finance wage and salary assistant.
Oh, okay, yep.
So we're making that 27,
for the assessor would be 79,380.
388.
Now, did that include? the
Wait, we
four-
have to take a vote on that.
Well, before we vote on that number, was that just adding the straight 3,000 or was that the 3,000 plus the 4%?
No, just a 3,000.
The 3,000, now we gotta add the 4%.
No, I think
No,
4%
No.
was added.
the
and then
4% is already,
Well, the 4% was added on the base, it wasn't added on the stipend.
yeah, no, the stipend stays the same, it's just the
Okay,
base.
all right.
Okay,
so
but
that
Gary,
number's good.
if you could put under,
Wait, you have something?
did they? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
Yeah, so the stipend has to be added first and then the 4% is the,
That's what I was clarifying.
I apologize for that. So what's the magic number
So
there?
last year's, the salary was 37442 times 4, add 4%, and then, no, add 3,000 and add 4%.
no, wait, we have to take care of Maya's first.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry, thank you.
So we already voted on the other one, right? The assistant wages?
Right, we're just
No,
gonna get the
we-
new number and we're gonna change
We're
Maya's.
getting a little ahead of ourselves. We have to settle out Maya's and then we'll go to the human resource.
Okay.
From 79,500.
I'll make a motion, we
The amount of
change.
79,500.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Now
Now
go
we
to
need the new
HR.
total. Yep, now we do the HR.
I'll make a motion to change it, HR to 27,581.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
right?
Right. So
All
what's
right,
the
now
total?
we're Lewis.
We're gonna do the total.
What's the total?
For that page.
Gary has the calculator.
So it's 3,794,251.
I'll make a motion.
Oh, wait a minute. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, we went up about $6,000.
So if we were at 3,400,000, now he just said 3,700,000.
We were at
We're at
3,788.
Oh, I apologize. I was looking at the bottom. I'm like, you do all the time. All right, give us a new number, Gary.
Yeah, we did.
That following, we reduced the debt service. That's what's bringing it lower.
So the total number we're approving right now is 3,794,250, correct?
251.
251. Which I believe Councilman Trombley made a motion and I will second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
So I just want to apologize because I got the original sheet. I had made all my notes. I wasn't going to do it all over again, and that's where the discrepancy is.
We forgive you.
It's not like I'm sleeping. All right, so the next page would be the town clerk.
It's very active sleeper.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, wouldn't that just be then the requested of 80,319? Because that's already an increase of 4%.
That's
But the
correct.
town manager reduced it, so yeah, so the
So we
new, the
did
new
not-
number would be the 8,319.
But we already know the number. I mean.
Correct,
So
yeah.
I'll make a motion, the amount of 80,319.
Second,
Well, for what?
for the
For
town
the town
clerk
clerk.
salary,
Clerk.
non-union.
I have to
Yeah.
stay in timing with him. You got it?
Yeah, that's fine.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's gonna be nice to have a real time, Gary. Thank you for doing this.
Anything else?
Deputy?
The deputy salary.
It's there also.
I'll make a motion, we approve the deputy town clerk salary in the amount of 63,900.
6,036.
I'm one line too high, $66,036.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Gary, what's the new number?
Bottom line is 453,992.
Make a motion to approve 453,592,
992.
992, excuse me.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, wait, there was a motion, Kerry seconded it. All in favor?
All right.
I don't wanna get
Okay,
a little-
so next page would be the fire department.
I'm gonna make a motion, we increase the fire wages and salaries, non-union to $90,440.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Was there anything else we needed to?
The fire, I'm gonna make a motion, we increase the fire, prevention marshal to $65,134.
Second.
Now, does he have any stipends, chief? Is that, which is it?
The only stipend is mine as the EMA director.
No, does,
No,
Mr.
Is that it, chief?
Yeah, all right, all in favor?
Aye. Need a new bottom
So we got a
line.
new
Mr.
bottom-
Primiano. My brain would work.
Make a motion to approve in the amount of 1,367,289.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
All right.
Page 8.
I will make a motion, we increase the police salaries non-union to $114,475.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nothing on that page?
Is
there anything else on there?
No other department heads on that page. Nope. So we just need the new number for the bottom, which Derek can see very clearly, so I will let him make the motion.
I thought he was doing the math. He's just looking, huh?
3,590,159.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Moving on. What page, Louis?
So shared services doesn't have anything. Animal control officer.
Are we gonna do the expenses for the shared services yet?
Oh, I'm sorry,
We did-
Dick. Yeah. Is there anything that's gonna change on the expenses, Gary?
No, we already just, yeah, I believe so.
Because we did talk about all of those last month,
Mhm.
last week.
So I will make a motion, we approve the expenses for the shared services in the amount.
Oh, I'm sorry, wait a minute.
I think we did make changes last week.
So, oh.
Yeah,
Let me
it's on
bring
microphone on.
everyone to the,
Is Gary not- is Gary-
employee benefits that we didn't include, so. I think we need. Oh, yeah, yeah, we didn't include the buyback in the, AB, the accidental death and tobacco and insurance.
And that would all be under the employee benefits line?
Yeah,
What do we need to increase that to?
you need, probably 40,000.
So,
Where is that? What number? Oh, how far down?
so 198,311. That would be a $40,000 increase.
And that's the healthcare increase that we got that email about?
Employee benefits.
Mr. Marshall.
right here.
Yeah, that reflects. The only thing that we didn't include in there is that.
Right. So I'll make a motion,
I'm gonna increase it by 40, I'm getting.
yep. I'm gonna, we increase shared employee benefits to $1,983,411.
No, wait, it's one.
We added,
zero numbers. It's 1,987,347.
well, if we added $40,000 even, and I got 1,943,000, the hell do we get a 7 in there?
Yeah, is it 40 plus 43?
183.
83?
The number that, well, unless there's something wrong on my sheet, but the number I have on my sheet, if I add $40,000 to it, it comes out to 1,983.
It should be 190. Yeah,
411.
4 turns into an 8.
Correct.
Unless it's not exactly 40.
19 with the $40,000 increase, I have 1,983,411.
Okay.
So it's only gonna change the bottom line
It's gonna
by
add 40 grand. to it.
40,000. So, make them,
655.
550.
No, 560. Yeah, 550, excuse me.
655.
so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
654?
654.
654.
We're adding $40,000 to that
No.
page.
655.
How is it 655? It's 654.
Do we all have different numbers on
654
our?
is right here. If you're adding 40,
54.
655,
655.
654. There's a 4 right here, John.
John, how
I got
can
too
it
many
be?
digits
How can
there.
it be a
654.
We're not adding, we're only adding $40,000.
Okay.
We're adding $40,000.
I was talking about the first
million.
3 digits being 655. You were talking about the second 3 digits being 655.
654, yeah.
Okay. I was in the front, you were in the back.
Yeah.
The
I
number
like
is,
story.
the number is 6,550,654. Agreed?
Yeah.
Agreed.
We're all on the same page.
Yep.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, I think Mr. DeSisto's up.
Nope.
No.
He's
Animal
just
control
standing up.
officer.
Oh, he had to get, oh.
I will make a motion, we increase the animal control officer. Oh, yeah, that's right, he's in the union. though we
He's
don't-
in the union?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Maya. You just earned your 3,000. So, I guess if there's no changes there, we'll approve 86,155.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion to increase the harbor master wages to 25,404.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion to approve total expenses in the amount of, sorry, Gary, I'll give you time to catch up.
No, that's bad, it's 70,816.
70,869.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We already did did we, no?
So we gave
We
her,
went through the
the-
rec department last,
yeah, so
week, right?
Kara, we already gave you your,
okay.
so
So, and I think we approved that whole page already.
Yeah, we approved the page, but just just to be safe, I'll just make a motion to approve total expenses for recreation amount $228,054, or excuse me, $45.
Second.
I'm sorry, say the number again?
I apologize, I went too fast. $228,045.
Is that right, Gary?
It's this one right here, yep.
Yeah, we're not making a change.
Nope, okay.
Okay.
Is
Yeah, I
the
got it.
motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay, where are we next? We're going to Public Works next?
Yeah,
It's
so,
already at 4%.
Did we?
Well, we haven't done public.
Yeah, we're going to the Public Works page. I'm gonna
Oh,
make,
sorry, I meant-
I'm gonna make a motion. We increase the Public Works salaries non-union to $96,354.
Second.
so, but hold on, before we forget. Is this Mary's line or how are we figuring this out?
Yeah,
Mary's
so-
line.
Yeah, I
What do you
didn't think
mean,
so.
no? Why is that no?
It's no, I don't make what Mr. Wheeler makes.
Right.
That hasn't been adjusted in this? So we
So
have a,
Gary, can we adjust this? How are we gonna do this?
It's an interim position, so my take would be you're probably safer to leave it as it is, but I
Yeah,
defer to the.
if you recall, this is an interim position, so we have a separate contract, so to say, with Mary.
But, all right, so if, so I can still increase this for when Brian comes back. I mean, he's still the department head, so I think he should get the 4% raise like we're doing for all the other departments.
I think I'd rather do that just so that if there is complications, just when he comes back, we don't have to go and explain, okay, we did this so we'll just do 4% across the.
Right, and and she has the contract with the manager, so.
Right.
So
that's-
you're
that's
you're
what's in
separate,
place
Mary,
now,
you're good
yeah.
the way you're at.
I mean, hey, I'd love to be mates, but yeah, I've negotiated.
Okay. Okay, so that motion was to increase the public wages, non-union to $96,354.
I'll second.
yeah, but wait a minute, that,
I don't think we need to go line by line. I think in the past, we do the whole.
yeah, we can just do the bottom.
Yeah, but we had to increase that one first.
All right,
Well,
go
there
ahead.
wasn't a number there, so you weren't, you're doing the whole department needs to be.
Oh, we're doing.
Gary, I have a.
I'm looking at the top line item, which is public work wages and salary, non-union. The department proposed 96,350. The manager put forward 95,390.
And you,
I'm changing to the town council
You're
group to
bringing it to the-
96,354.
correct.
Actually, you are changing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're changing it.
So I'm changing it to 96,354.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. And
Now,
then we just need to
So,
do the
like,
bottom,
bottom,
unless there's another change.
I just have a question. Is there a reason why we don't even have another number on the deputy director? Should it be, or we just?
It's a union position now.
No, deputy
not a
director is
position at
Mary.
all.
it's not even,
So we're utilizing the director's pay so that's why we didn't plug it in.
correct.
Okay, all right, I'm good with that.
All right, what's the change?
Derek, can you read? the
What's
new
that
number?
1% change? All
Hasn't done it yet.
Well,
right, don't yell at us.
keep it down over there.
So you're gonna go line by line for the rest of the.
No, we're just looking for the total bottom line now with that change.
How did that,
Oh, wait a minute, no,
We
no, no,
haven't
no, no,
done
we have to go
DPW.
line by line with this one here.
oh, we haven't done you yet?
Yeah.
Last week?
That's right.
Yeah,
All
so,
right.
well, is there any changes you want to make?
Yeah, so Mary, I did sit down with you to tell us where we should be changing, because, forgive me, I forgot. It happens.
On the union salary line, I reran the numbers and it's $20,000, it was, Brian's number is $20,000 higher than it.
So we want to reduce that to one.
Public Works wages, salary, union, so that should be, 1,127,280.
Second,
Wait a minute, I have non-union salary, it should be,
Since I can see the number.
1,125,290.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to decrease that line item to 1,125,290.
So if it's 20,000 less, then,
It's a little more than 20,000, it looks like.
okay.
Yeah,
all right,
Which line item?
This is the same one, salaries, union.
Public work.
wages,
and
salaries,
salary
and union.
Cut it.
So say it again, I'm sorry, 1 million?
Sorry, 1,125,290, which is just a little bit more than 20,000.
Mine says 1,147,280.
Yeah, that's, what do you, we're on a different sheet.
No, that's what that's what it currently is, but the correct number according to Gary, which is about 20,000.
Right, so it wasn't around 20,000.
It wa-
It wasn't like straight 20,000, it was whatever in
Yeah.
change. All right, that's why the math.
We had the wrong number plugged in.
Okay.
So yeah, Nikki.
So we have the right number. I'll second Mr. Trombley's motion.
All in favor?
Aye. Mary, what else needs to be changed?
Well, we're taking electricity out of general and office expense. So
So the 66,800, you're good with that?
we're, with the electricity out, my math has us at 70% of that budget right now.
Which
So
one is this?
This
We're
is
down
general
to
and
the
office
two-
expense.
Thank
Yeah.
you, general.
And the one right underneath it is electricity. That's coming out of the general offices. And
So we're at
having
70%
it
now,
separate.
so
Yes.
you're thinking that should probably be up to 70,000 instead of 66?
Yeah, would be very helpful.
Okay, I'll make a motion to change that number to $70,800.
Second,
That's general office and expense.
7,800?
No, 70,800.
Listen, no, I'm making a motion to change it to 71,000. I'm tired of these numbers. We need to round them up.
71.
71,000.
Is there a second?
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mary, what else?
The clothing allowance is contractual. There's an allowance per employee and they have the option for a reimbursement for footwear 2 times a year. If we do that exact number for each employee, we would need to increase that budget to 24,150.
Whoa, from 18,000?
Mm-hmm.
How did that happen?
The boot reimbursement was coming out of general and office. So we reallocated it to clothing allowance. It just felt like a more appropriate
Yeah.
fit. We can
boots are-
move it to safety equipment if that seems more appropriate, but it seems to fall into.
The steel toe
Yeah,
going to safety. Did we just get a grant for safety?
not for that.
So,
So Mary, just a quick question. So in the past two, I mean, I don't know how much of this was kind of done by Gary, but in the past 2 complete fiscal years, 24 and 25, it was only about 17,000 used of that line item.
so Derek, the reason why is they used to take it out of general and office expense. They used to take it out of different lines. So this is something that in the future, we're gonna start working to address
Specify.
these things a little bit better, you know?
Trying to bring it into a better accountability.
Right.
No, I thank you for the
That's why.
explanation. Yeah, I understand.
So I'll make the motion to $24,000 on the clothing allowance.
Yeah, but what's the increase?
That's about 6,000 or 5,000.
Again, I'm just rounding up to
I'm gonna-
$24,000.
I'll
No,
second
you
it.
gotta put the number in there for us to add it.
Well, he's
I
gonna-
just did, 24,000.
We're adding 20,000 to it, so it's gonna bring it up to $38,043.
What?
Wait a
Hold on a
minute.
second, let's back
No,
up.
the total is 24,000, so we need to add like 6,000, I think.
No, we
Change
did,
it.
we just did.
Just change it to 24,000.
Not saying what the increase is, we're saying what the total amount
Correct.
now is. The total amount was budgeted at 18,000.
Now it's gonna be
Now
24.
it's
Yeah.
gonna be 24.
Okay, we don't have to account for that until we get to the bottom.
So I make a motion to change clothing allowance to 24,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Mary, where else?
I think everything else lands about where we need it to.
Okay, so we just need.
I mean, obviously, snow removal is gonna be a difficult.
But we have it in there, and the nice thing about that is if we don't use it for snow removal, we'll use it for spring cleaning, so
Sure.
I'm good with that. What do we have for a bottom line number, Gary?
Okay, wait a minute. Is there anything in here that deals with the rental of the truck? Is that a line item in here?
For the holiday lights?
Yeah, the 12,000 covers the bucket truck.
Yeah, but where's it come out of?
That comes out of Christmas lights,
Christmas lights.
Public Works
Oh,
Christmas
that's
lights.
what that 12 is?
And that's for bucket truck and materials. The bucket truck itself was $914 a week. From what I saw, I think we should be able
No,
to.
no, listen to her. You were estimating 12,000 a month. It's 914.
No, I didn't say 12,000 a month. I said
These for the
12,000
year.
feet
Total,
The year.
yeah.
to put them up and take them down.
And then if we need it for tree trimming and all of that.
I'm of the opinion still that for the amount of time you use it, $914 a week, it's a lot cheaper. You know, when you are plugging in $45,000, you're looking at a used
truck.
What did we spend this year total on the bucket truck? When renting it?
I have it, hold on.
Is it 4,000?
We used it for 4 weeks to put them up and 4 weeks to take them down. It's a lot more than 4.
We don't take them down.
No, it was 9,000.
So 9,000 total.
Yep, 92.74.
So you pay for the truck
4 years, you
5
pretty much,
years.
4 years, you pretty
Hopefully
much,
get
now
10
you,
out
now
of
you
it.
own the truck.
Hopefully you get 10 out of it.
It's about 60 for a bucket truck of like
Right.
2018 vintage, same style we use.
Yeah,
It's
so
about
you're talking
50,000.
60, not 45,000.
I believe we have a total now for this section, so I'll make a motion to approve total for public works expenses in the amount of 2,000,000.
I think.
Derek, hold on.
I think we're
Still
still talking
discussing.
about-
So I thought we were done discussing.
Yeah, no.
I think, so when you rent this bucket truck, where does it come out of? It comes out of,
That comes out of the Christmas lights. It's the
Christmas
primary
light
use
plan.
for it. We have a bucket truck that we use for tree trimming and that, kind of
Right.
thing, depending on the tree.
so.
And then on the trip,
So-
that great big one never
Right,
goes in.
so the $12,000, I think we have covered, I think.
Yeah, and we can cut some out of that as well, just as a side note, our bucket truck is the one that did the tree at Burrs Hill. There was equipment rented for it that wasn't used, so that was 3,000 right there.
3,000 that we.
Bucket truck
And
can
if
do
we bought
Burrs Hill.
the proper sized bucket truck, we can sell the old one to offset some of the costs. We're probably not gonna get a
Uh,
lot.
Again, the bucket truck is not part of this expense, it's
Right, no,
part
I
of
know.
capital, I would say let's go to capital and then,
Alright, I
and
just
then I'll
wanna-
make the argument there.
I just wanted to see if it was coming out of
Yeah.
a shared account.
Mm.
So I wanted to just get an idea of exactly the amount of,
Yeah.
so our discussion is right on cue to what I wanted.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
wanted the information.
All right, Councilman Trombley,
You-
BRI.
You're good with this, Mary?
What's the number?
I'll make a motion, public works expenditures in the amount of $2,734,455.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we are gonna have to make a light adjustment at the bottom. We have to go to the top. We're missing, or a star or something.
Hey, so building inspector,
I'll make a motion, we increase, oh, where the hell is it?
so you got a
Page
stipend
14.
included here.
Yeah, that's, but I don't have the number, because on all the other ones, it had the 4%. I don't.
Well, I think that 11% included the stipend, and I think that's
Yeah.
the offset, so.
So that 89,022 would be bringing him up to like all the others. Okay, I'll make a motion, we increase the building inspector wages and salaries, non-union to $89,022.
Second.
All right,
All in
Matt?
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Wait a minute, Mr. Cabral. Do you have anything you want to add to this?
Just double check that, I think.
Think that number's too high.
Oh, I think that the stipend was put in and then they gave me the 3% raise. I don't know if the 4 was added to this. I just double checking that.
So you mean you want your 4% on top of the stipend so that the math works out? Did we? do it
Right,
that
yeah,
way?
he's not sure if the town manager, if the department had request, all the other ones were at the 4%, that's where we were digging the numbers.
So did
Mr.
Mr.
Cabral,
Cabral,
Yeah,
what was
he's
your
just
stipend?
gotta check, yeah.
6,000. It's the zoning stipend before. I'd have to go back. It's not on, it's in my computer. If you guys can you just,
Yeah.
can you hold this off and then I'll just
Yeah,
look
of
up the
course, yeah.
number?
Well, that was budgeted. Well, yeah, that's budgeted. Yeah, okay. 6.2.
I'm good. Thank you.
I'll take a water.
Thank you. One right in front of you.
Open it. Oh, jeez. This one's not open. Thank you.
I'm gonna miss the clerks. I'm gonna miss everybody.
Who's doing the math on this?
I am.
John,
You
he's in the
are.
bathroom.
What is this like now?
462.
Is that including the 4% increase?
No,
No,
you
it's
add
not.
that,
I'm
and
adding
then
that
do the
and
4%.
Okay.
Yeah, it does come out a little bit more. It's 89,823.
89,823.
See that? Now he can buy me that grinder.
I'll make a motion in the amount of 89,823.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
So total
No, yes, so.
building inspection,
is
220,385.
I'll make a motion in the amount of 220,385.
second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Moving right along.
So I guess we're at the, we did social services, right? You changed it to 24,000?
I believe we skipped the plan.
For the plan.
Plan on page 15.
Well, didn't we just increase? No. But
Oh.
I don't see why we would do the planner since we just hired them.
But you can't not, if you're giving employees a 4%, you're giving employees 4%.
Well, we've given her 18%. And including her stipend, that's 18%. So.
I guess I'm just looking,
Well,
making sure. I wasn't
Those
going by
numbers
what you
are
were saying.
deceiving, because when you add the stipend to the salary, it posts an increase in percentage, but it's really not, because she was already getting both. You follow what I'm saying?
So
So
let's
let's pick a round number, say the salary was 50 and the stipend was 5, she was making 55. But on that line item, it only showed 50. So when we add the stipend to that line item and take it out on the other side, it's gonna show 10% just for that stipend being added to that
Well,
line
we
item.
already adjusted Tara's salary and we've already adjusted the planner's salary, so I think that.
all I was saying was,
Yeah, I know.
look at the page. Let's make sure that what you're saying is what we're doing, because we need to approve the page.
Yep.
Is my point. So are there any adjustments to the planner? There you go.
So if we just hired.
So last year, we paid 75,623 for a planner.
Yep.
So what's 4% of that? And then if we add 4% to that and then add the stipend, what is that number there? I don't know.
It should match what we have here. And it's, as Mr. Tromley pointed out, it's the 18%.
I'm not, that came out of, I'm not sure which page that.
Oh, the
was
17%, right?
on. Oh, there it is. No, that's the list.
Right, because isn't that what you're saying? The 17% shows the addition, the adding of the.
What was the
stipends.
stipend?
Yeah, I believe it adds the stipend and then the increase that was negotiated when she was first hired. I mean, she's only been on the job for a
Yeah.
month.
We
I
had
heard
the
it.
last planner we hired right before budget time, and
Administrative
I'm not
officer, it
criticizing the
was,
questions. I'm just making sure that the numbers are right.
last year it was budgeted, the stipend for her was budgeted at 13,184. It's on page 16.
Page 16. 13 for them.
2,091.
So, I mean, if we just hired this person and you have did you sign a contract? Brian, what is your thoughts on this? Give me.
I'm not talking about giving her an increase. I'm trying to make sure that the stipends that she has been rolled in properly. And if this number is correct, we move on it and move on. I'm not necessarily advocating for additional action. I'm just
It's not,
wanting to make sure
Yeah, page 16.
that the notes we took last
on my sheet,
week
it
and the math has been
specifically
applied.
says that it was part of it. Now part of.
No
the
part of the
plan,
plan right here. Okay.
Administrative officer.
Yeah, okay, so my concern is that it's not on here anymore.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Wait a second, everybody. Mr. Cabral's over here talking to Gary. We can't have side discussions unless we're gonna deal with this. So, Mr. Cabral, is there an issue with the line item? Okay, so, and if you can't do it over there, we're talking and moving on. We're thinking he's working on what we're having. You can do it though, because we're not done with you yet, evidently. So, Mr. Cabral, please come to the microphone. So stop the planning discussion and go back to the building
I
official.
believe there was an error again with the
Okay.
calculation, so that's what I was discussing with the finance director.
It's actually.
So he's just running the numbers before you guys go ahead.
It's very appropriate.
Thank you.
If I take last year's salary, 8155,
hmm
multiply that by the 4%.
Well, are you adding the
You have to add the stipends.
You add the
and
stipends. So you,
Prior to the 4%. You add the stipends and then 4% of that.
okay, that's
What's the stipend? How much?
6462.
6462.
Don't take that.
I wasn't adding the stipend, the 4% to the stipend.
Yeah, I
So
don't,
that's 86617.
did we?
Yes.
You added 4%.
Did we add 4% to all the other stipends?
Yeah.
No.
So that,
I don't think
No.
we did.
Well, technically,
We add,
It's the staff.
we bring the stipend and the salary together, then we give a 4% increase of that number.
that's what I
Okay.
thought we would do.
I
That's
think
what
I
we
have that
did.
number, Mr. President.
Good.
So if I'm doing my mathematics correctly, the
That's what we did.
combined salary from the previous year was 86,617. And a 4% increase on that number would be $90,081.68. I presume we're just going to do 90,082 because it rounds up.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll make a motion for the building inspector wages and salaries non-union in the amount of $90,082.
Is there a second?
Did I do the math right on that, my friends?
Matt, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay,
All in favor?
Thank you.
so the bottom line has now been adjusted to,
Thank you, Matthew. Mr. Cabral.
I believe it's 220,644. Is that correct?
it would be higher because it was 223. 226.
No, 220 and then 644 is what it's showing.
Okay. Want that in the form of a motion?
Whoa, whoa,
Wait, what's the math at the bottom of the page now that it's been changed?
226, I'm sorry, 22644.
Okay. 22644. Is that your motion, Mr. Trolley?
Yes, that's my motion.
Second.
can I?
Wait, Carrie has a
Discussion,
question.
I have that page totaling 223,085. So how did it go down if we just increased the number of the wage? I may have had the wrong
Did you
number,
make a
but
mistake in the original
or
number?
never made a mistake.
Oh, no.
No, I went back to the old number to see what it was. Yeah, no, it was low. So 22644 is what I had.
Yeah, if it was, we just increased 90082 minus 89. I
Should be
can't
on page
remember.
14.
Okay.
82. So we just added $259. Is that what we added?
Yeah, we gotta go.
It would seem so.
223085 plus 259. 223344. Is that what we're saying? I mean,
I'm not sure where they actually could almost. Well. No, 3,000 back with the twos.
did you have the bottom line written down previously?
I did not
Because I've been writing the
even track.
new bottom line at the bottom on each page. I may have had the wrong.
Gary, is that in a spreadsheet? Can you like make sure that you're,
Yeah.
so that's correct, what you have,
Yeah.
all of those,
Just check the sum.
all right, so Carrie, you have an error.
But if it was 222,091 and
Right.
it went up, it
Right?
went to 223, how could it go down to 220 now?
I don't believe it did.
I
It's
see, I
230.
know what she's saying now.
It's two,
I had the 218,693, so
No.
that new number went up.
all right, we have to, let's get a handle on this. So we added the stipend to the salary, correct?
That was already done.
Well, I'm not sure if it's the marshal. We have to make sure
We
that,
didn't add the 4%.
okay, now you're adding 4% to that number.
Correct.
And that number you came up with is larger than what we
It should be
started with,
90.
correct?
Yeah, 90,083.
Okay,
The
so,
original number was 88.
082 or 83?
It's 082. Just looks like a 3 from far away.
Okay, so there we found it. All right, so Mr. Marshall's number stands. And we need a motion to accept that bottom line. Of what's the number, Mr. Marshall?
$220,644.
And is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And that shows the increase that Mr. Cabral brought forward.
Correct.
Great. Now we can move on to the planning page.
Back to
If there are
page
no
50.
changes
So
with the planning
difference you was looking at
department,
is right here.
that's fine.
You just
We
want-
just need to approve
you
it.
didn't
and
notice
move
it.
on.
It's 2,000.
So,
I believe the correct number for the total expenses currently, which is what I'd like to see passed, is $136,126. I'll make a motion to that effect.
Hold on a second, what page are we on?
we're on page 15.
Page 15.
Okay, what did we, because we were still working on the wages and salary about the stipend, moving the stipend, which we did. And we were wondering if that included a 4%, which I believe the original proposal did of the 89,097. So which number are we carrying forward on that line item?
So 136.
Nope,
126.
nope, just the salary.
Not the salary. The 88,206 is what we left it at.
Okay.
Right? Yeah,
Right.
88,206.
So,
So that, so that bottom number stays the same, correct?
Correct.
All right, I will second Mr. Trombley's motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we're going to what page? Where do you want to go? Social services?
So, yeah. So we voted on the social services.
Yeah, unless we make changes, we already approved this page.
No, we didn't,
We didn't go over the boards and commissions
go over the boards and commissions.
and the grants.
Oh, I thought that was all social services. then.
No.
Yep, okay.
So Mr. Rego wants to make some changes.
Yeah, so under the Memorial Day, I think it was I think Brian just left that out. I want to plug in $3,000. For the
Is it-
Memorial Day.
It's not in here?
Yeah, I think that was an oversight
At the
on,
bottom.
No, that was, the department requested it. It wasn't put forward in the manager's budget.
yeah.
All right, so we gotta have Memorial Day. That's 3,000. Is that a
Move-
slip, Mr. Sullivan? Did you intentionally not want to do that, or was that a mistake?
I just wanted to have a discussion with the council as to.
Okay,
I'll make a motion, we add $3,000 for Memorial Day.
correct. All in favor?
Aye. Under the Warren Armory,
I guess I seconded that with a correct.
Hmm.
Yeah,
under the
but-
Warren Armory, they're requesting $3,000. I make a motion, plug in $3,000 now. So I just want to say this about the Armory. We have 5 people that are dedicated to preserve that property. It is a town piece of property, so the $3,000 is to offset some of the costs with the utilities. I think it's small price to pay to maintain a town piece of property.
It is, it's less than last year, so
Yeah,
I wish,
last year they
I
were,
wish them
yeah.
luck. So you made a motion?
Yes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And
And,
then- We have,
Open
Hope
Maine.
and Maine is here and we want to fund them out of the special revenue.
I didn't see there, is it the same thing, 10,000?
That's what, they're,
I think it's back in here.
yeah,
Grants.
no, last year. We don't know what Miss Lisa's asking.
May I approach?
Yes, you're approaching.
First of all, thank you for your generous grant last year. We were able to provide meals all summer long during our markets for the most food insecure families in Warren. So I want to thank you on behalf of those families. Budgeting is a thankless task. You could only ever hope to make everyone equally unhappy. So thank you for your leadership in that regard tonight. And we would like to ask for renewal of those funds for this season. Hope and Maine continues to bring, continues to pay about $16,000 in taxes every year. We've paid almost $250,000 of taxes as a 501c3 in the last 12 years since we began. And every year we launch about 50 businesses. I think I told you last time that 14% of all the businesses, food processing businesses in Rhode Island are here in Warren. That's more than even Providence. So based on the economic contribution of Hope and Main and the fact that we would like to have our market again this season, and we've lost all of our federal funding for it, we'd like to direct those funds to supporting that event that happens every week, all summer. It brings about 3,000 people to the town. This year, we're going to do it on Friday nights, which will be great. It will bring lots of folks here.
Let me just say
Yeah.
this, because I don't want you to say too much, but you provide food to the senior center, you provide food to different areas in town.
That's what we had been doing until we lost our federal funding for
So
that.
is
Yeah.
that something you no longer do?
That is not something we're able to do at the level we were doing before.
And
Yeah.
the reason I bring this up is because we funded that $10,000 was out of our special revenue funds for social services. But
Did we do that or did we use ARPA money?
no, we did it from, right, Joe, it was actually your idea last year, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when we're utilizing those funds, I think they're specific to certain things like helping the poor, people
Right.
Well, the-
hungry.
the-
And that's why I'm,
The income.
Yeah.
qualifier,
Right.
Right.
That's who's receiving
So-
this.
Specifically, what is this
But
grant gonna be?
Let him
used for?
finish.
so
Stop.
again,
I still don't know.
if you're asking for the grant be utilized for those type of things where you're helping the needy, feeding, I think we're okay. Tony, help me out on this, but I think that if it's for other things, then
No, it's specifically for the low to moderate income.
Well,
help,
it's right. It's for the low to moderate income businesses that we're supporting this year.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's where we.
Yeah, no, it is, you're right. It is a different use. this year.
Yeah, and
Right.
again, you understand, so we have
Right.
those funds and they're specific for certain things, so
Right.
it's not.
When you shift your funding in your budget, we can help you with the food,
Yeah, yeah,
and then you can make your adjustments on your pot.
yeah.
You say you're not doing that anymore because you lost your.
It's not,
federal funding?
it's very generous of the town to have done that, but without the bigger program, I don't think that's something that is worth doing, and because it wouldn't be enough, unless you can meet like full need.
Why don't you
really-
finish? Because you didn't even
Well-
tell us what it
Well,
is that you're
so what
requesting of
I'm
us.
proposing is supporting the market that we run all summer, the makers market that we run, because we have lost our federal funding for that market and the economic benefit that it brings not only to the businesses that are all businesses that are incorporated in Warren, but also for the community, the economic development of the community. So it's economic mobility of the individuals who run those businesses, and that's why they're at Open Main, but it's also the economic
What's the number you're looking at?
the renewal of the grant
Yeah.
What grant?
that we received last year.
But that's apples and oranges. We gave you a grant for food out
Right.
of a line item.
Yeah.
That is supplied because it's for.
Because
local
that's what it's
items.
for,
That's
right.
what it's
Yeah,
for.
and that's why when you were saying that, I was.
So
like,
it can't be,
We can't use that line item. to
it's
fund-
not,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
a
not the
whole
same
different-
line item.
Yes,
This is coming out of the market.
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Specifically for, like,
We under-
last year, your
We
purpose
under-
was perfect.
Yeah.
So
So,
fortunately.
so
you're
is that
looking
one
at-
of the other, just for my edification, what's the source of the other funding? Is it also the Martin Fund
What other funding?
for like the Armory or
No.
Memorial Day?
No, those are grants and contributions. Those come out of the town
The town,
Right.
okay.
general fund.
But
yeah.
understand, the Armory is a town-owned piece of property. If those people decide, hey, we no longer want to be doing this, they give us the key. We're gonna pay a lot more than $3,000 to maintain and all of that.
May I?
And
may I-
then just hold on a second. And then the Memorial Day is something that we've had for over 100 years.
I don't think she's,
But she was asking.
No, I'm not.
she's
I'm
asking,
Just
she's simply
clarification,
asking where
yeah.
those funds
Yeah.
come.
Yeah.
So I didn't
She's
understand
not
that
making
because
a comparative analysis.
no, I'm not. I
And we
wanted to
don't have to
understand
defend
that.
ourselves.
Yeah,
We
Yeah.
answer the questions that
yeah,
Ms. Rail is bringing forward. So yes, that's what, so when you look at the inclusion of the library
right.
and what we're able to fund, it comes out to about $385,000.
But so some of that's from different pots of money is what you're saying?
No, it's one pot. What we were getting, well, a little, there's a tiny change.
Okay,
I mean, there's a tiny bit of, like, the food, we have access to a trust fund that was established 150 years
Yeah.
ago for the help of the needy.
right.
That's where we were able to get
Okay.
some social service funds, and we were able to pull
Right.
out the money for the
Right.
food.
Right.
Now, when you look at everything else on there, we take that out of the general fund. So
Yeah.
that's a budgeted item. Now,
Yeah,
that's not to say that the council couldn't vote to support what you're asking. I wouldn't really look at it that way.
okay, okay.
So,
Mr. Trombley has
well, I was just
something
gonna
to say.
say, was Ms. Rayola finished with her presentation?
By all means.
So, I was going to say, I didn't know that that program wasn't going to be continuing, but I do also think it's important to support our small businesses and to have this market, which brings so many people down and generates economic development revenue. I would make a motion for $5,000 for that. I mean, it's not as much as they're asking for, but if we're giving 3,000 for the Armory and 3,000 for Memorial Day, we can surely find 5,000 to give to our small businesses to help them, have this program.
You know what? I hate, it's much easier to say yes than no. But I think there's a big difference from a parade that's been there 100 years in a building that we own. And you've done great, and I was ready to give the $10,000 because you've done more than enough. The problem is how do we say, you're a business. How do we stop from giving every business in downtown Warren, helping them out?
We're a nonprofit. We're not a for-profit. So we're a nonprofit that also brings significant, not only pays taxes, but brings significant economic development. So we're bringing people and funds and businesses to Warren, and we want to continue to do that. I don't know how much we'll be able to continue to do, losing our federal, we lost our USDA funding for the markets that we do. So we've been doing the markets for 12 years, bringing thousands of people to the town because of the businesses that we support. We're not a for-profit. The money goes to actually, having a market, because we discount that to the businesses that are there so that they can afford to, be part of the market. It's the only market that Warren has. It doesn't have another farmer's market. So
Just a question.
that's what I just want to clarify. We're not a for-profit.
Just a question. How many, I know it's every Friday for a series of Fridays, but how many in total?
It would be June through August, however many that is.
And are you still doing the buy one, get one meals?
No, because again, that's the funding that we lost.
That was.
That was what we were doing at the market. We were doing the meals at the market when we had, we raised about $800,000 to do that for Warren over the course of about 5.5 years. Yeah.
What specifically would this money be used for? Would it be to supplement the people selling at the market? Would it be for security? What would
It would be used for the person who manages the market. It costs us about maybe $100,000 a season to host this market, pay people to organize it, to staff it, to, basically to set up every week a market and maintain it. We offer the SNAP benefits at the market and the EBT benefits. So in that way, we definitely benefit our low income neighbors. We're able to offer double their SNAP dollars at our market. And as I said, there is no other market in Warren. There is, no one else is doing what we're doing. And we've been able to do it for many years, partly because we've had federal funding. Like many nonprofits, we lost that funding.
Right.
So.
Mr. Rayo, where is
Yeah.
the, where's the page with the,
Grants and contributions?
yeah, no, my brain.
Oh, special revenue
Yeah,
funds?
where is,
It might be on here. I think Gary
is there
gave it.
anything in there with economic development that we can connect to?
You know that,
Where is it? Do I have one?
Yeah, came today.
yeah, should be top page here.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
the businesses. that
Where is it?
participate
This?
In those,
Yeah.
events. Are they started?
Where is mine?
There's startups, there's about 63
I
businesses
see
that we
those.
support over the course of the season,
How many are based in?
all 63. Yeah, these are all Warren businesses, so they're all, there are 150 businesses that operate out of Hope in Maine, and 63 of them actually participate in the market.
If we could somehow tie our special revenue funds, if there's something that would apply, that would be great, Bob.
I mean, I
Right,
could
and-
suggest that, we are supporting the SNAP recipients. They're able to purchase food at the market using their benefits, and we are able to
You
offer
would have to
them
be
double
providing,
benefits.
like you did last year,
The meals.
clear, well,
Yeah.
a clear cut. This is a service to the low to moderate income.
Yeah.
And that food fell in without
Right.
anyone else supplying. See, the problem is if I consider that, so to speak, same table.
Yeah,
And I'm not a low to moderate income, it can't go there.
yeah.
So it
Yeah.
has to
What
be
about the Rhode Island
in
Common?
a, very,
Well, but Mr. President, if I'm correct, if we just appropriate it without tying it back to sort of the Martin Trust, then we don't have to have.
correct. We're trying to figure out a way to get the money.
Yeah, I think that, again, we're gonna send this to the budget committee and see how we can utilize these funds. But I don't think we want to open the door to, because at one point in time, we've had a bunch of grants and contributions, you know what I'm saying?
Well, we still have a request from Imago that's not even on here. We have requests from Art Night, not even on here. I mean, there are other grant recipients of the past
Hmm.
that we haven't been brought back to where we used to be.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, I agree with Mr. Reagan with regards to having other people take a look at these and seeing if there's a fund in here that could possibly help with an economic development. The best thing would be for you to meet also with our planner.
Yes,
And-
that would be
and-
good.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this year may not be good for you. But she would be able to plug you in to whatever is out there in a bigger access point funding state of Rhode Island versus just coming out of our budget,
Yeah, I think she'd be a real good resource for you.
or maybe even federal, even though some federal things have been cut.
Yeah.
She'll be the way to look at grants that would help you. I mean, we could do this, but it's coming right out of our fund and I'm not saying, what I meant by, we have the capability. We have a lot of things we would like to spend money on. And I'm not sure this right now, this year, is what the council wants to spend the money on. Mr. Trombley made a motion, I believe,
I did.
and there was no second. Is there any further discussion that we want to do?
Actually, I'll second it.
Oh, you are gonna say, all right.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't at the time, sorry.
We went into discussion before.
Oh,
the second
okay.
Made
So there's a motion and a second. What was that for? How much?
for
3,000,
5,000.
5,000?
I think every little penny helps. I know that they've lost a tremendous amount of funding from the feds this year. They're trying to claw on with what a skeleton crew, so to speak, and these are mostly local businesses with the owners of which live in town. They pay, taxes, and they participate in our community in many ways. So I would urge my colleagues to appropriate 5,000 for these, what are we calling it? Sorry, the fair? No,
No, it's our market.
market, excuse me.
Our market that we do every.
These
week, yeah.
markets take place the whole summer. They're a great event to go to, and they bring together a lot of the community. And I do know that the library and I think the HES do have a table there that helps connect folks with services if they need it. So I think it's an invaluable resource to our community, and I urge your support on this.
Okay, there's a motion and a second for $5,000. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And
There
I
you
would
go.
just encourage to possibly see if we can get it out of one of those shared services accounts.
Yeah, well,
between the-
Absolutely.
We're gonna have
Yep.
we're gonna have them.
But if
take a
not,
look.
it'll come out of the general.
Correct.
Well, if not, it'll be budgeted in the grants and contributions. You received $5,000.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Riley,
Yeah.
I'm voting nay, but it's not a
Yeah.
reflection on you. I was ready to give you the $10,000. It's more of, we can't open that door to one after another. So, but it's not a reflection on you, and I'm gonna do everything in power, work with the budget committee to try to find funds for you.
Like I said, this is a very tough task that you
Oh.
take on to do this. So
When you run away.
thank you.
And let me say this, it's easier to say yes than it is no.
Yeah.
Hope you
Okay.
realize it.
I agree.
Next.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Next, we have
That's it.
what?
We just need the total now.
Senior center, I thought.
So,
Oh, sorry, yeah.
so I have to go on boards and commissions.
Okay,
Expenses.
so we will start with
Any
Mr.
change-
Rego. You gonna take over again or?
You're gonna-
Well,
changes
nothing's changed. Nothing's changed, and I'm not questioning anything on here. So whatever we changed,
We just, we
we just
added,
added, I think we just added, what was it?
we added 3 and.
11.
5.
The Armory,
We get 6, we added,
6, and then another.
so we added $11,000.
Mr. President, I think just out of an abundance of caution, I recuse myself on consideration for the grants for the George Hale Library. So could we vote on that separately?
Yes,
Thank you.
actually, we're gonna just do it right now.
We would have to bust out the numbers.
Wait a second, everybody. Library, $306,019. Is there a motion to accept?
Motion
Yeah.
to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Charlie, come back. Now go ahead. What was the 11,000, whatever you guys are?
So we have to add 11,000. Are we adding that? See, now I'm a little messed up over here because we only got 46.5 there. What are we approving for total expenses and budget for this page, Gary?
I come up $396,547.
That's what I got as well. I'll make a motion.
So we're,
Wait, let
We
Gary.
added some stuff last week.
so all the boards and commissions are saying the same as Brian's.
Recommendations.
Ooh, I didn't add,
And
We
we-
added
Except for
stuff
what?
up here last week.
If-
We made changes.
Right, we have to take the
We
3,000.
added money there. 24,000.
Yeah, I
I
did
think
add
we
that.
already did that.
Oh, we didn't do it for the total.
We didn't do it from the total. So what do you have for the total, Gary? 393, 547?
So minus 3,000.
Why minus?
Wait, look, because of the board, we moved it
Okay.
for
yeah.
Maya, but let him finish. He's doing math. Let him do what he's doing.
So I got 398, 769.
How's that?
So Gary, you added the social service director at 24,000?
Yeah, that's up in the top column over there. That's been corrected. Yep.
Okay, so
So one about that.
Fucking hands to Rob.
what's the net number again? 398,547?
769.
398, 769.
Well, that's,
How is that?
yeah, that's different from the number I.
Did you guys take into account what we added? We raised the salary last week for the
I
civil
mean,
services
it's
director.
on here. It's
that
the numbers are
24,000?
reflected on here.
Yeah.
Those were,
Right, but as it comes down in the column, it's not reflected in
Ah,
my
I
column. I
see,
only
I
got
see.
46.5. It's not reflected as a total in
16.
that column.
I see what you're saying. Thank you.
That's 385 number you have there does not include the 6,000 and or 5,000 and change increase to the salary.
all right, so what's the number?
I believe it's 398,000 and scroll down a little.
769.
760. I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Gary, is that the number?
Yes.
Okay,
So senior center. Page 17.
you know, MCAP's never even come back.
They know we just don't have the money for it.
I know,
So-
but in the same sense, they never even asked.
Motion to increase the senior center director to 63,648.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. And Gary, what's the new number?
Well, it's,
Well, it'd be 37,948.
yeah. Second.
Catching on.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Wait, where are we again?
So,
Gotta do the total for that
Just
page.
using part-
we just did. We just
We
did
did
the
page 17 just now.
Okay.
So the last page,
Wait, Ms. Flanagan,
Oh, I'm sorry.
what's your question?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Did I? Oh, I'm sorry. That happens. I'll make a motion to change that number to 72,948.
Second.
I thought that's what you said. All in favor?
Aye. Thank you, Jenny. Was Maya?
Thank God Maya's here. Now what page? We're
So
on.
now we're going to,
18.
to sewer department.
Yep.
So, all right, we didn't do this last week, right?
No.
The sewer department. So, one of the challenges with the sewer department is the numbers we've had in previous years. I don't know how good they are. Gary, help me out on this, or Brian.
Well, the bottom line numbers at the end of the year are accurate.
So if we could just go through it, on the wastewater management district expense, we're only at 36%. We've plugged in 130. Is there a reason why we're at 36%, Ryan, that you would know of?
So that, I believe that has to do with inspections and pump outs that we do, and from what my conversations with my administrative assistant is that will increase towards the spring and summer.
Okay, yeah, and
As people.
past years, we've been at 130, so I'm okay with that. Plant,
That's a contract, that's.
yeah, so the other one is plant, we had, what does OPNS stand for? Plant
Operation.
operations. Yeah, the other one says plant operations contract. So we've used 97%. We had budgeted 379.5. We're at 368. We're at 97%. We went to 419. If I average that 97%, I come up with 552,000. We're only at 419. Brian, was there a reason why you were only at 419? Is something going to change?
If I'm looking back at the last two fiscals, and it's like a roller coaster.
It is.
One year was 466 and one was 248.
I
Does that
believe-
have to, is sludge disposal, or is that no, that's a separate line?
No, I think it's energy, but
Yeah, I believe that they didn't take out electricity and separate that during those times, or something was not separated that was later separated.
I see it, $178,000. Is that it?
Where are you seeing that?
So right under it, you look,
It's been reallocated.
Correct. Those are gonna be new accounts going forward. So all those in red were in that account. But I did go to break them out. Fortunately, they're only broken out through December. So those percentages are a little off. But, and then I took out the budget to cover them as well.
So the ones in red came out of which line item? The sewer plant operations? All right, so that's gonna drop that way down, Louis.
yeah, I see that, yeah. But I think you already took that into consideration.
Yeah, the budget numbers for those line items came out of that budget.
I'll make a motion. I think 450 is a little bit too high. I think I'd prefer increasing it to 425,000. Gives an extra 4.5 or 5,500, just in case.
What line are you looking
So
at?
operations.
Sorry, for sewer plant operations.
So
from
what, so 419, 500 to 400 and what?
25 was my thinking. It's
Yeah.
kind of halfway between ours and yours, or.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you, if you're good with that 11%, I don't think that extra 5,000 is gonna make a big difference. I would just leave it.
All right, I'll withdraw my motion.
Okay.
Is there anything on here that we should, I guess I have a question on the capital improvements. You had the 432,000. We're looking at $570,000. Do we need to plug in the difference in there? Or can we just,
And why
how do
is
we
it-
handle that?
Why is it on two line items? Why is it here and also on?
I think what Gary did is he tried to fill in to get that number to the 2,457,000, is that right, Gary?
Yeah, so it's a plug so that your
Yeah.
revenue and expenses balance.
Yeah. But when I'm looking at our total capital for the sewer department, we're gonna probably use 570,000. He's plugged in 432, so we're gonna need 138,000, and I'm thinking that this year, we're probably gonna be over on what we had budgeted for revenue, about 225,000, so it'll cover it. I just don't know if we need to plug in that third thing that we want for capital, how we do it.
Hold there.
So,
Mr. DeSisto, this is where this gets dicey for me. Because we're talking about increasing costs at the sewer plant. But yet, we don't have a restricted revenue account with what's coming in. And we want to make sure that, I want to possibly change something, Louis.
Oh, all right, no, go ahead.
You and I had spoken about the restricted revenue account for the sewer usage fees. Because right now, if we were to make any changes, increases on this page, we're increasing the taxes to the town of Warren.
Not in this case. Sewer use fees are not gonna change.
No, I'm saying if we would have, like, if we say we want to change the sewer wastewater management
It won't
contract.
change our taxes. It won't change because sewer department is sewer usage fee, everything else is
But
part of
this is, but this is included in our budget.
But no, it's not.
It's not?
it's a separate entity,
Separate entity.
Okay.
so their revenue.
So Mr. DeSisto and I didn't have that. We didn't.
Well, no, I gotta ask a question. You consider this to be a sewer utility fund?
Yes,
You do?
yeah, an enterprise, well, they call it an enterprise.
Okay, so it's an enterprise fund, I stand corrected.
So it is separate from our taxed budget.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Because they get a
we
sewer
just-
use fee. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was, my thought process when we were talking was making sure that when we started with the sewer usage fee and we started down this road, that we separated all of this. Because I didn't want to be like contributing towards a tax rate to this page and then getting in the sewer usage fee through the revenue line and going into the general fund. And we were just wondering if things were being paid off properly. So now it answers our question.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Because
Go
right
ahead.
now, when you look at the sewer and, where we're at, we're ahead of the game, probably about $415,000. And when you look at your cash balance sheet, 215 belongs to the sewer department.
That's what
But it's
I'm,
all together.
that's what I'm
We're
making.
working on breaking that up.
Correct, because that was my biggest point, is that these have to be separated so that we know what we have, not the sewer usage fee going into the general fund. And then wondering, all right, is it this, making
Right,
sure,
make sure we're charging
Yeah,
enough. or-
right? And is it enough and isn't it enough? And it's a whole, so I was thinking of, and if it's already been done, that's fine. It's a separate, the sewer usage fee goes into a restricted revenue account, but that's not how it does. The sewer usage fee goes into the general fund.
So we already approved,
It does, but he breaks it up into this fund.
And we.
so we already
So you
approved
make
the
su- all right.
500 and something thousand for the sewer.
So which is a
So this
restricted
shouldn't
revenue
reflect that
account.
if it's coming out. of
That
here.
only goes to this.
Because they
Okay,
already did
all
that
my
in
questions are
the-
answered. Go right ahead.
My question to you is, when we're looking at capital for the town, that should be different than the capital for the sewer department. correct?
Yes, I agree.
Because the capital is coming out of this
Yes.
enterprise fund, correct?
Yeah.
You're correct.
So see how he has it in there, and he did just to try to fill in, what we're getting from revenue to expenses. So should that number be plugged in somewhere else? The capital, or is it okay to be under operations?
You're including sewer capital in operations, or is that in the capital?
No, it's in operations.
It's in operations.
But he's calling it capital.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you can fund capital, even in.
Right.
Regular fund, you can fund capital out of your budgets.
No, this was for the roof. These were the things we discussed last week.
Yeah,
right?
so
Yeah,
before you discuss that, so here's the issue. He plugged in 432,000. But we're gonna have a fund balance we should have an excess of about 200 and change in that account. But he doesn't have that extra money that we're gonna spend on a different item. Does he have to plug it in, or he can leave it the way it is and we still spend the money? I lost you, didn't I?
No, you didn't. In other words, you're saying that if there are anticipated,
Additional revenue. We're anticipating an additional $200,000 that will cover the capital, but we can't plug in the capital because it's not going to match our revenue. Typically, your revenue matches your expenditures.
Well, so that $432,000, that keeps you at the current sewer rate. So if you wanted to increase that line, you'd have to increase the sewer fee.
Which we don't want to do it, but we still want to make those capital improvements.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
additional,
if we do have excess, in that fund, you could utilize that just like you utilize your capital.
but do we need approval to do that? I guess that's my question. Did I lose you, Tony?
no, you didn't lose me. It's a good question. You anticipate, getting additional revenue.
That should cover that capital.
But if you put the capital in the budget, those items, you're gonna have to change the sewer use fee.
Right.
So you can't do that. The question is whether or not if these anticipated revenues come in, can you use that extra money on some capital project?
Right.
The answer is yes, if it's on an emergency basis.
I would think the roof would be an emergency basis, Brian?
Well,
It's been,
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I think we're covered.
yeah.
All right, so we're gonna leave that number the way, we did make a change though, didn't we? Or is that this bottom number correct? 2,457,782.
and I'm hopeful that our planner is gonna help us
Right.
down the
We
road.
didn't make any changes.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the total budget for sewer at $2,457,782.
Second.
I
All in
have,
favor?
I have discussion, sorry. I know we've been discussing.
Section on the motion.
Just so, if I'm understanding it correctly, just because we're putting that 432,638 does not mean that we have to fully fund it in the budget, or does it?
Yeah, so our intention is to fund it. The issue is we had additional work to do. We have $570,000 worth of projects to do. But we'll have, once this is done, we should have an additional 200 and something thousand that'll cover it. But we're not plugging it in here as an expense. But as long as we have the money and it's an emergency, we can do it.
Okay.
Did I lose you, Derek?
I'm just, because what Mr. DeSisto had said was, I'm sorry, Mr. DeSisto, could you repeat what you said just a moment ago?
If this roof project is put into the budget, then the revenues will have to be accounted for. It will change your sewer use fee.
Okay, so the sewer use fee is going up.
No.
No.
If we put it in there.
If you put it in. If you don't put it in and it remains the same, and then additional funds come in as anticipated, you don't know. But if they do, and there's an emergency, then you can apply those excess funds to that capital project.
So like hypothetically, if the roof gets worse
Right.
and starts leaking and there's an emergency at that time, can we access the funds? Yes.
Correct.
But right now, we're trying to figure out if the roof's
Right.
still stable.
And if, in other words, if say we take in an extra $100,000 in fees, we can use that money for that emergency repair.
If there's an emergency.
At this point, it's speculation.
Yes.
Correct.
But we're hoping to get some time out of the.
So Mr. Rego gets up on the roof with his golf shoes on.
No, I think we're
But,
covered.
sorry, so this is my question. So last year we budgeted 2,037,000 for the whole of the sewer department. And this year we're doing 2,457,000. So that does have to be accounted for on the sewer use fee.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So
No.
that's coming from the 432,638. So
So-
if we keep it in, we are increasing the sewer use rate, and if we take it out, then we are not.
Yeah, so
Because,
No.
because you collected $400,000 more than we spent last year.
So last year we were short. Remember, we
We
had to
made
take
the
from the general
adjustment
fund?
last year
We had,
because we came, well, Derek wasn't here, so
Yeah.
we-
yeah, he was.
you, well,
Yeah,
the
what?
previous, I mean,
The
The
previous year?
previous
Okay.
year, we ran over 270,000 in utilities. So before the year ended, we had to go into the general fund and readjust. That's when, in our wisdom, we went, gee, wait a minute. The sewer usage fee is supposed to be covering the cost at the plant.
Right. I was
So-
there for all that. Yeah. So then
So
we had,
then
we
we-
increased. Thank you.
I think we're good.
Okay. What's
There
the
was a
number?
motion and a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Maybe we'll get to the legal department.
So I think we're all set with so at this point, where do we stand, Gary?
No, we haven't done the Department of Legal.
You don't.
Yeah, we did.
And in fact, you've already approved those.
Yeah, we already
we did.
approved it. Yeah.
Under shared services and.
Thank God you came.
Joe was dying to grill you, Tony.
Yeah, I know.
Waiting for the reason he's here. I don't know.
Paid. Yeah.
Sure, you know. Thank God we don't pay him by the hour.
Now,
Gary, where are we?
I think what you do now is you approve the entire budget, because you've gone through the.
We
entire
didn't,
thing.
did we go through all of the capital last week?
No, we have
No.
to redo it this week.
Doesn't affect it.
And we have to go back to that.
Yeah.
And it's not why Mr. DeSisto is here, but because he's here, and because we had that discussion. So all those things that we said we were going to fund but not do, all those things need to be removed. So Gary, can you give us a new running tally on where we're at with the tax rate and all?
3,652,112, which is
3.35%.
3.35%
Increase.
increase on our living cap.
Very good.
Okay, so-
And that's right, because the capital items don't reflect. our-
Correct.
Yeah, right. Capital.
So now let's go to capital. It's on the last page of page 19 of 19. So we start right off with road paving. We put in $100,000. If we plan on spending $100,000, we can keep that there.
I think we should keep it for two reasons. One, because we get 33% from of that in addition from the state, so that would really total 133,000. And then given our prospective economic and financial situations in future budgets, I think it's wise to try to fix as many streets and potholes and such.
And the winter was bad. The roads
Winter
were a
was
mess.
bad, yes.
Okay, so then next we go to groundwater, which we have to do.
Right.
Yes.
So that brings us to 142,000. So is there a motion?
Motion for 142,000 total transportation infrastructure.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, the Harbor Masters radio, we're gonna try to use the secondhand one. Now we look at the wastewater.
Now, on this, where I'm a little confused, is this, we have this here, but we have the 432 on the operating side.
Right, so I'm thinking that we're taking this out.
I believe so.
Yeah.
But
Because
this number is more than what we have on the other side.
All right, so again,
I know, but this is
again,
just an estimate. that they-
I've already explained it. He's plugged into 432. We're anticipating an additional $200,000.
Okay, so you're thinking that we will cover this whole amount on
Yes.
the other side?
Yes, but it doesn't even have to be here.
Okay,
So I'll make a motion to remove, do we have to do them individually or can we just do it all? at
just
once?
zero out the whole thing.
Zero out the whole thing, remove the 570, 475. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Or is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so that's to
Can't
remove.
second my own motion, I'm sorry.
Second.
Oh.
He's an attorney. He can do it.
I took it.
I'm
I
sorry.
took it.
No, that's on me.
It was pretty quick, though.
Okay, so parentheses, all in favor?
Aye.
Next, we move down to Parks and Recreation. Now, Ms. Thibodeau is looking at the seawall and she got good news for the bleachers, or is that a matching fund? Ms. Thibodeau, could you please come on down? Because I know you have some good news. And that's, go right ahead, tell us the good news.
So we received the $434,100 for the DEM recreational grant for the lights and for the bleachers
At Veterans Field.
at Veterans Field.
That's
We
great.
just found out
And
on Monday.
matching fund will be about 100,000.
Yeah, the matching fund, it's 25%.
Now, did you do some fundraising?
We did, and I've also started to talk to organizations that use the facility and,
Possible in kind.
and then, yeah, and in-kind services, and then some businesses as
So
well.
we should keep this 40 plugged in,
Well, 40.
huh?
Well, 40.
The 40 on the bleachers, that was for Burrs Hill.
No,
No, that's the, oh,
You
that was
added
my
it.
bleachers?
Yeah,
added
yes,
something.
yes.
I'm sorry, that was my bleachers.
You added.
Yeah.
that's what you, yeah.
So
The only thing I asked for was the beach wall.
the
Yeah,
beach
the-
wall, so we don't have, we don't
I
have,
did not ask
so it
for a
was the
match.
good news that came in confused me. Thank you.
I'm gonna make a motion to plug in the 32,500 for the beach wall.
Well, I went down there and looked at it. And I think we should get a quote on looking at the retaining wall that Blount Seafood put in.
Blount Seafood is who recommended the person who came down and did the quote.
My concern is John, you should go down and take a look at it with me. So if you look to the right and to the left of that area,
Where the whole, where the
where the
big
hole
stone fell
is,
down, yeah.
there's already buckling happening from internal reroute expansion. So I was thinking that we should, even if we spent 100,000, not 32, put the cement face riprap in there and consolidate all of that wall before it gets destroyed. So in other words, we'd be fronting it with the riprap and then put the cement on the top the way they do it. Because that one piece that's broken, you look to the right and the left.
Oh, well, the water's getting, it's getting in
Well-
along behind it and washing everything out.
Well, not just that, I'm saying that the wall, like to the right, that quote unquote isn't damaged. The rebars is buckling inside of it. It's all full of cracks. I think we should relook at it and take another, maybe get a quote if we can. I'm in favor of repairing the wall differently, and it's gonna probably cost more money. I think if we just put a cement plug in there, the rest of the problems on the side are just gonna
Yeah,
expose
eventually the
themselves.
rest of the wall's gonna do
It's-
what this one did.
And it's already in the
That's
process.
just how long
So-
it's gonna last.
That's what I mean, but it's gonna be, we're gonna have this new cement plug for 32,000. And then the right and left of it may fail next year, 2 years.
This
By
may
then.
actually be a good candidate for some grant money for,
Yeah.
you know, for the high what do they call it? The sea
Toxic
level rise
reclamation.
and all of that stuff.
And
So-
I also looked at it. If we have DPW just simply lift that block in and backfill it for now, I don't think
Yeah,
it's
build
any
it on
less.
Backfill it.
Well, you gotta
Because
look at it.
The tide's gonna take anything you put in front of it, the tide's gonna take out.
I know, but take a look at it with me.
I mean, you could make a quick fix to it very easily.
That's what I'm saying. And
But
then I think the
How
cost.
long is it gonna last?
What I'm trying to really emphasize is I think we need to look at this as a little bigger picture of that wall.
Joe, I agree 100% with you, but for now, I would rather plug in a 32.5, know it's there, and if we have to do something else.
Okay.
We'll go with something else. So,
Okay, but I'd still like to maybe try to get
I don't
somebody
disagree
down
with
and
you.
take a look, pounding that steel in and really encasing those. It may not be, it's all land reach. You're not bringing in barges, you're not bringing anything. I mean, it may be something that it's gonna be very close to what Mr. Quattrochi's gonna do at the bottom of Washington.
Make a motion to plug in 32.5 for the seawall.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So Tara, I just wanted you to know that I went and looked at that.
I've looked at it 3 times, that seawall.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I actually had a nice little glass of wine sitting on the bench right behind it.
Yeah, I
Chief,
just looked
you
at
got
it,
that?
I'm sure.
Did you get that, chief?
I don't think it's.
And he had an open fire.
I don't think you're
with
supposed to
his
drink on
dog.
that wall.
Oh, no, we
I could
can
be
bring
wrong.
dogs down there now. All right, so the 40,000, you guys
I
wanna,
wanna take it out. I wanna save the bleachers. It's an iconic part of town. It's as iconic as the library
Joe,
for me and people of my
So
generation.
I am also, but I will commit, because you're not gonna be here in about a month. Anyway, I will commit.
get
to-
the surgery, I won't be a
I
problem.
will commit to make sure that we fix those retaining wall. that
Correct, the
retaining wall.
landscape feature. The
I,
landscape-
you know,
It's not a bleacher. There's no field to watch. There's no stage that they aim at, so it is not bleachers. It is a landscape
Okay,
feature.
gentlemen, can I agree and meet me halfway? If you look at the design and the layout over there, pretty much the whole left, if you cut it in half and you look at the left side of it, it's not good in regards to our access to the bike path, its proximity to the courts. I agree with you guys. Save half of it. and then open up the other.
What do you mean? It's perfect access to the bike.
It's
path.
not, it's horrible.
You come up, well, if
It's
there's a path, there was a
It-
path there that
John.
came from the bike path up and you had to go between the courts and the
John,
bleachers up around.
Go and
the
look at
landscape
it.
feature or up around the back.
John, go and look at it with a different point of view. If half of that were gone, you'd have picnic tables, benches, and a nice flat access to the bike path. The connection is gonna be so much better, and you can have your bleachers.
Well, we already got a connection to the bike path at the end there, on Hale Street.
It's not good. It's all water erosion.
I heard several people say the same thing. It's been there all these years, 100 years. I mean,
It's an icon.
yeah, it's an icon. It was given to us by someone that's given us hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe millions. And I think that we should probably look at the Jay Barry for a grant,
have any
maybe
money.
Sandy Scott
He doesn't have any money.
for a
They,
grant,
they don't look.
Mr. Martin for grants. I think we should.
God.
Agree.
You
I-
guys, so,
So I agree with John and Lou. I feel it's more of an asset. I know during the summer, it is used extensively. I think that you should give the option to the planner to try to find some funds to fix it. But I agree with these two councilmen. I feel it's more of an asset, and not worth getting rid of.
Yeah.
So how do we get around the legal aspect of the fact that the trust is saying
well, they're fixing it is part of what they're
fix it or
saying.
take it down, but the
Correct.
cost to fix it is
250,000,
as opposed to taking
just
it
building a
down?
brand new one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make a motion, we remove the $40,000 for the bleacher removal.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in
I
favor?
just wanted to add
Nay.
a discussion. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just add discussion?
Of course you can.
I've gotten more feedback against getting rid of the bleachers since the last meeting than any other item on the budget since I've joined the committee. I think the public seems to be very much in favor of trying to find a way to keep them. So I'm going to vote to reverse my decision at the last council meeting and take out this item for the bleachers. So no.
Great.
No.
You have it.
Okay. I'm wondering if I wanna make a motion to put $250,000 into it.
I really can't
no,
believe
this. No.
Is
No,
it on
I'm
the
not
5-year plan?
But Derek, you're just kicking the can on the road. They're
yeah.
deteriorating the trust has
You got,
labeled them, the tagged them.
you can't not do anything there because there's a question of liability. I don't wanna say too much because we're in a public place.
Mhm.
If somebody gets hurt over there,
Okay.
statements that were made at this meeting could be used against the town.
Okay, then
But I gotta-
I'm gonna make a
gotta have
motion.
money.
20,000 for repair.
It's gonna cost more than that to make it safe.
Maybe like
I'll make a motion for up to $50,000 to make it safe until we come up with a full-time plan for repair or until we come up with another plan.
I think that's a bit high.
You think so?
Yeah. I'll meet you halfway at 25.
Well, we're gonna just spend 40 to take it down. Let's spend at least 40 to repair it.
I don't think, the problem with, what I've learned, whatever you plug in here, it's what it ends up costing. I don't know if you guys have figured that
Yes.
out.
Yes.
And if you plug in 25, you can go up to 30 or 40, but if you plug in 50, it's gonna be 50,000. It's not rocket science.
All right, how about 30?
I'll go with the 25.
28?
I'll go with the 25.
All right, 62.
Miss
Just
Hunt,
with all due respect,
Please.
and I encourage your discussion, but the bid for repair realistically is $250,000. That is to make it safe. It is not something that we're going to be able to patch. So that is, I just want to put that in the discussion. The bid for removal is 40,000. The bid for repair is 250,000. From what I read in these bids, they can't be repaired for much less than that.
Was it did we only receive one bid? How many bids did we get?
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Yeah,
I don't believe that.
According to you, the
That's-
information that
and
you've
you
given
go-
me.
and you
because I'm
can,
new to
but
this,
here's the
I just want
we can
clarity.
go
in
back
discussion.
out to bid. It's not a problem.
Mary, with all
I had
due
an
respect,
Expert come
with
down.
all due
here.
respect, I wasn't born yesterday.
That's a lot of money to.
That's a lot of money.
I'm only reporting on the bids that we received. But
That amount of
That's
money.
what you're doing. The repairs, they have to be removed, all the rebar.
I don't
everything is
agree with that. I'm
destroyed.
good with plugging in $25,000. We'll research it. We'll go after grant money. We'll ask the, Mr. Martins, they're still around. If they'll contribute, we'll ask Kate Barry. We got our planner.
All right.
I just
Anthony,
want to make sure that
If we
there's
put up
clarity in what it's
horses
gonna
and
take, because it's not
horse
something that the
tape
DPW will
and
be
shut the
capable of.
area off
Correct.
until we make repairs, does that cover us legally?
I have to ask the trust.
Okay, so we'll look into that at the same time.
You guys should spend the money on removing them, and then if you want to build a new feature there, do it.
No.
But for 40,000 to
No,
remove
because
them,
once
it
they're gone,
becomes
they're
safe.
never coming
Yeah.
back.
Correct, and you're gonna have to take them down. Okay,
All right, so we agreed on 28, right? I
I,
make a motion that we appropriate $28,000 for,
The repairs.
for repairs to the bleachers, to put them in a safe condition.
Yeah.
is
I
that,
think that
there-
that is a folly. I think
Mhm.
that you are throwing good money at bad. I think that the emotional attachment to those bleachers, while charming and really special for you people, is not realistic or reasonable. I think you should go take a picture of it, have somebody paint a picture of it, hang it on your wall, and let's move forward with honoring the work that has been done to repatriate that place into an actual park with trees and green space and access to the bike path.
without water erosion.
Something that is going to be resilient for years, because that's just going to continue to take on water and deteriorate no matter what. And just move on and make it a beautiful space that people want to actually use, rather than sitting on some rubble and just, you know.
And the
for
planner-
just for the, you know, just because you have a fond memory.
It's not
of-
just me.
No,
The planner had,
that's not the case.
Well,
Probably about better than half of the town.
Yeah.
oh,
Well-
you guys are talking to the vocal supporters that you talk to.
There's a motion and a second on the table.
Yeah, all in favor? Nay. You're in favor of 28,000?
Well, we have to, as the.
That's the starting
We have to
point.
put something there to do it.
Okay.
250,000, what are we putting in a house? Come on.
No, you're putting a 300-foot
Come on.
concrete barrier to.
28,000, not 38.
All right, so I think we should go out to bid. We'll have to put that on the
Yeah,
agenda
we'll have to.
and we'll go back out to bid. Now what? The truck replacement, $40,000 for a bucket truck. What's the feeling on that?
Again, 40,000, you're looking at a used bucket truck. We can rent them for $1,000 a week. I think $40,000 would be a lot. And again, you're not. it's not like-
We missed it. We have to vote on the total of the,
Still capital.
no, the talks, park and recreation.
so
32.5?
Was it?
That would be.
Oh, the 28 also.
60,005, yeah.
Make a motion to approve total capital for Parks and Rec at 60,000,
500.
500.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
Nay.
So we got the public
Now,
works.
Public Works.
Again, so my thought
Did
is.
we vote on total capital?
We're not there yet.
That's what we,
Yeah.
yeah,
we are.
we still, yeah, we gotta come back to that.
So my thoughts on that truck, again, for $1,000 a week, it makes a lot more sense than paying $40,000 for a used truck. Again, if it was like you were saying, 12,000 a month, I would, but I really don't think it would be a good way to spend money right now. I think we should all.
Yeah, it's about 9,000 a year is what she said, 98, 9,000 and change a year to rent it just for the Christmas lights.
I don't know that I agree with that, but.
That's what she just told us a little while ago.
Yeah.
The figure for this fiscal year was about $9,000. 3,000 of that was for a piece of equipment that wasn't used. So the true
Okay.
total was about
See how numbers are an illusion. So 9,000 minus 3 was $6,000.
Okay.
So 6,000, that's a bunch of years that that $40,000 would eat up. And again, don't keep it in mind, it's not,
About
you're
six-
buying a used truck.
About 6.5 years.
I assume you're buying a used truck that doesn't need any work,
If
it's
the-
gonna sit there.
And if the rental fee stays at $900 a week.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm not saying down the road that we couldn't buy one, but at this point in time, I think that we should hold off on it. That's my opinion.
Mr. Trombley's trying to talk.
So I think Ms. Hunt said that 40,000 is not really the price range, that it's really actually 60,000. So you're talking about 10 years of the bucket truck rental versus buying it now. I think it's more smart to just continue with how we're doing. So I don't see that, I don't see this as a smart investment at this very moment.
Make a motion to remove it.
Make a motion, well, I can't make the motion. Can I make a motion to remove it?
Of course you
not?
can.
Make
You're
a motion
another
to remove-
council.
So,
I made the motion to put it in.
yeah, so let me ask you a question, because this is a good point. If they make the motion to put it in, do they have to be the ones to take it out when you, or can anybody take it out?
We're just making another
Just to
motion.
make, okay, make a motion to take it out.
In a second, all in favor?
Aye.
See, I asked that question because I didn't know the answer. So, now I know.
I'll make a motion, we set the total public works to $0, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So now we need bulletproof vests. Is there a motion to support the $16,000
So
from the
moved.
police department?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Fire department,
or total, I make a motion for total police in the amount of 16,000.
all right, second. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now the fire department is looking for motors and an upgrade.
So this goes back to the question of, do we want to go after grants for this, or do we want to plug this in and commit that money to this
Yeah,
project?
I don't think we have the money for it, so I'd rather zero this out.
All right,
I'll make a motion to zero it out.
Keep it in the plan.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to set the total fire capital at $0.
Yeah, we did.
I think
Yeah.
you took them both.
You have-
Mr. Charlie, was your motion for both?
It
of
was for
them?
both, yeah, to zero out the entire line.
Chief, you have what, the second-hand ones running now?
I'm sorry?
The second-hand ones are running now?
Yes.
Like you have something in place?
Yes.
Yeah, Chief, keep in mind, we do have it under the 5-year plan, and the whole goal is to try to chase money for these
Yep,
things.
no,
So it's not like we're
We
saying no.
discussed that last week with Bianca, trying to find the communication money.
Right,
There's a good chance of that, better chance of that than there is on the boat motors though.
right.
So I have a question for the solicitor, since we're talking about emergencies. Let's say these engines blow up in the middle of the season. Could we buy new ones as an emergency because they're our marine unit,
You'd have to make an appropriation out of the.
the general fund?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Unrestricted.
there you go, chief. That's,
Yep, that was
You
the
know.
question I had last week. Thank you.
you're welcome. So next, we have a total. Somebody give us a total.
So I'll make a motion for total vehicle equipment replacement, in the amount of 16,000. Is
No,
that not right?
no,
That's
that's
not
just for
right.
that's just for.
That
Well, we
was
have
for
the
the
number,
bulletproof
Gary.
vest. We need a total at the bottom of the page.
Total capital financed by reserves.
Okay, I'll make a motion in the amount of 234,500 then.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
What are we going to next?
So where do we go from here?
I think we wrapped
I
everything.
think
up,
we're
right?
done.
I think we did a great
I
job.
got the 5-year plan, but I don't see that on the agenda. I don't know if
Nope.
we can act on that.
We can put that at the council meeting.
Yeah.
Uh,
I just, can I
Ms.
just
Barone,
say, I'd
can we
like to.
include the 5-year plan at the next council meeting, please?
Yeah. Who prepared it?
No,
I just
It
want-
must
we
be-
don't, what we talk.
What is the office?
There is no.
Pass that.
Yeah. I
This
just want,
ballot pass.
I want to add that there's no landscaping to do.
Yeah, just talk to.
Yeah, we do have the 5-year plan. I mean, the,
So,
So I think we need to
We
like
need
come
to-
up with the final numbers.
yeah,
on the
we
front
need a
page.
final number, because it's gonna be given to the Times
I think the fact that.
or on our webpage, whatever, that correctly identifies. So we need
Gary, is that front page correct?
The budget is 29,652,112.
is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve that number.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now we need a
Tax
motion
rate.
for the
correct?
to accept the tax rate.
And that, where am I seeing that?
Is that-
At 3 point, set the tax rate at $12.02. With and that is an increase of 3.35%. Put that in a motion.
Second.
3.35% increase in the budget.
Yeah, the budget.
What's the, so the increase from last year, correct?
The overall increase.
Okay, all right, yeah, so let's
President,
just
can you-
stick with the dollar.
Order, because she can't hear anything.
Meeting's still going on. Relax.
All right, so I'll just make my motion for the tax rate of $12 and is it $12.02?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and
What else? do we
the tax levy, we did the tax levy, right? No, we need a,
Yeah.
all right, so we did, Mr. DeSisto, that's what, all we need to do, right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. Is-
We don't need to.
All in
approve
favor?
The tax increase percentage, the 3.35,
That's what we did by saying the 12%.
Right.
the $12.02.
I mean, the $12.02.
Motion
So,
to adjourn.
for the public's knowledge,
Vote on
and,
that.
Have we voted?
These last two.
oh yeah, so all in favor
Aye.
to set the tax rate at $12.02. That was the motion, that was the second.
Yeah, and the other motion we already voted.
The other motion we voted on.
That's the preliminary.
And we passed the preliminary budget, which includes school funding, by the way, right?
Correct.
Thank you.
You approved the whole.
We approved the whole budget.
Unless they're public, unless there's, we get the, what is the next step is if we get the petitions. Right.
Right, as of now tonight, we've approved the budget. The tax rate is at $12.02. It represents a 3.35% increase from last year. And we are moving on.
No, you can't say it from last year because it's
What do you
totally
mean?
different.
To 3.35%.
The 3.35, yeah, but not the dollar.
Increase.
Did you just say the dollar amount?
Right now, this budget,
No.
before it gets adjusted, is $12.02
Okay, yeah.
per thousand,
Which is a 3.35.
which represents a 3.35% increase from last year. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.